A pair of senior quarterbacks will try to lead their teams to a 5A Division II state championship. Amir Alzer will lead the Cedar Park Timberwolves against Devin Smith and the Ennis Lions. 5A Division II title up for grabs next.
In the great state of Texas, football is king, from the wide open spaces out west to the big cities. Little tykes are known to have footballs in their cribs, and their dads raise them with a football passion that is unrivaled. Small towns practically shut down on game nights, and season tickets are passed out to the next of kin. The tradition that is Texas high school football runs deep, and the achievement of winning the state championship stands tall for a lifetime. The stage is set. I'm Jimmy Johnson from Port Arthur Thomas Jefferson High School, class of '61. The Texas High School Championships from the AT&T Stadium, they're next.
From AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the UIL and Fox Sports Southwest are pleased to present the Class 5 Division II State High School Football Championship featuring the Cedar Park Timberwolves and the Ennis Lions. Hi again, everybody. Glad to have you with us for another state championship telecast. I'm Craig Way alongside Shay Walker. There have been two classic games, the 4A Division II championship game to start off day number 2 today here in Arlington, followed by a double overtime thriller in the 4A Division I title match. Now it's on the 5A Division II, and we might have a game every bit as good as those other two.
Well, I think that's certainly the expectation, not only from you and I, but from most of the people that we've talked to about this matchup. Ever since the semifinals were over and this game was set, everything has been pointing toward the Ennis Lions and the Timberwolves.
And getting ready for this, of course, pounding defense for Cedar Park is a big part of that. And Thomas Hutchings leads the way on defense, but also on offense. He's a throwback.
Well, he really is, Greg. He's one of those guys that you got to pull for. You see, he's a reigning 5A Defensive Player of the Year, but also the rushing yards, over 1,000 yards. He wants to play every single snap, and he certainly does get the lion's share of that call.
Yeah, carries the nickname Tahoe for Cedar Park. And then Ennis has what we like to refer to as the Thompson twins. They're not twins, but they're twins in terms of what they produce.
Well, Donta Thompson, you see the wide receiver there. He is 6'6". He's a very physical presence out on the outside, averages 17 yards a catch. And Taylor Thompson is just a workhorse in the middle for the Ennis Lions.
So, contrast in styles, good defense on both sides. Should be a lot of fun. 5A Division II state championship, Cedar Park and Ennis. And the kickoff is coming up next.
For you.
Ford is the best in Texas.
What a script! What a script to get here! What a script to get here! Hey, you battled all season. You battled all season. Hey, we had setbacks, we had losses, we had injury. You had every reason to quit. You're here. 3 different 14-point deficits. 3 different times. You come back. Hey, you already know the ending to this thing, don't you? You already know the resolution. If it's a great story, hey, you'll tell everybody what the ending is tonight. It's about team, it's about family, about focus, and about finish. Let's go finish this thing tonight.
Emotional words from Joe Willis, the head coach of the Cedar Park Timberwolves. And, of course, Jack Alvarez has done a tremendous job in his 4 seasons as head coach at Ennis. He's on the sidelines with our Brooke Bentley.
Coach, you started the season 0-2. You've been undefeated since then. How has your team matured this season?
We had some young kids that obviously they've stepped up for us, and then we had a good group of senior kids that's been strong since they've been in 7th grade, and they just kind of matured together, and they've molded themselves into a pretty daggum, they're a good football team right now. We're playing our best.
You're facing a defense that wreaks havoc and forces turnovers. How does your offense remain sound?
Well, we're gonna have to have good ball security, and we're gonna have to mix it up a little bit, throw it when we want to throw it, and then when it's time to run, we just got to make sure we hold on to it.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Craig, up to you.
Brooke, thank you very much. T-Wolves and Lions ready to do battle. And for Ennis to kick it off is John Lopez. Actually, it'll be Brandon Martinic will kick off for Ennis. And back deep to receive it for the Timberwolves Elijah Guidry and Javelin Guidry. There you see Jav Guidry right there. And look at Cedar Park. They understand what the playoffs are all about. By the way, those are tremendous numbers. And, of course, winning the state championship 2 years ago. Joe Willis, his first season that year as the head coach after serving as the defensive coordinator under Chris Ross, who moved on to become the athletic director of the Leander Independent School District. And in his first full season, he won the state title.
Well, and looking back at that one loss, Craig, that was a regional semifinal loss to Calhoun by 1 point.
So we're ready to go. 5A Division II championship. Kick will be fielded by Jav Guidry at the 11-yard line. And Guidry, good return. Out to the 40, which is where the Timberwolves go on the attack. Amir Alzer, the senior quarterback, has been the guy that's been the caretaker of the offense throughout the course of the season.
Well, and a converted wide receiver, so an extremely athletic guy, completing 54% of his passes. But Amir Alzer has really kind of settled in and gotten really comfortable. I think he's nicked up and dinged up a little bit early in the season, but ever since kind of that mid-season mark, he's just been on fire.
The first play from scrimmage, Alzer on the rollout. Speed on defense, and it forces an incompletion. Chasing him down was Brian Nelson, the senior middle linebacker. So it's 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Well, you see the pressure here and that is just a great job of Nelson staying at home and forcing the throw out of bounds.
Hutchings, his first carry. Bouncing it outside. And he'll take it for 4 yards as we take a look at the Ford starting lineups. And our Ford starting lineup for Cedar Park will feature Jordan Seeger, Nathan White, Alex Kateri, Jack Merrill, and Ethan Sullivan across the front. The backs and receivers, Hutchings, who just carried it, Jake McCorney, Davis Fiala, Jack Grimm, and Miles Cheatham. 3rd down pass, catch, incomplete, out of bounds. Fiala pulled it down out of bounds.
Logan Lipscomb right there with the coverage. Did a nice job of shoving the wide receiver out of bounds.
So it brings up 4th down. Another look at it. He didn't have it. Lost it going down. Got the foot down but couldn't hold it. And Alzer standing out there on 4th down and 6. He is capable of punting the football himself. And he'll drop back.
Well, you don't see anybody back for Ennis, though.
And there's the kick. And that has a great effect for Cedar Park. This will roll down close to the 9-yard line. It'll be marked a 47-yard punt. Just the appearance of Amir Alzer forced Ennis to bring defenders up to the line.
It really did, and it's very interesting to see that the coverage team for Cedar Park allowing that ball to roll out apt to the last inch, because they know that they have got a very rugged defense that they like to put on the field, and they want to get every inch and every yard and create as much possible field position as possible.
Devin Smith, the senior quarterback, leads the Ennis Lions onto the field. 61% of his passes complete, only 6 interceptions for 24 touchdowns and over 2,600 passing yards. In the backfield, and on 1st down, Smith trying to turn the corner upfield. That's going to lose 3 yards as Brandon Saletti and the rest of the T-Wolves, Tyler Levine, out there to bring him down.
Well, just so quick and so active. Brendan Saletti, the junior nose guard, doesn't get a big menacing blow, but he's back in the backfield so quickly, and he trips up Devin Smith.
Loss of 3 on the play, and it's 2nd down and 13 for the Lions. Taylor Thompson, Trey Elliott in the backfield. And once more, it's Smith on the keeper. Bounces it up the middle and then outside before Elijah Guidry did run him down. A gain of 8.
Well, you saw the fake pitch right there to Trey Elliott. Devin Smith hung on to the ball and goes back out to the left side, trying to take advantage of that aggressive Timberwolves defense, getting him chasing the ball fake. Picks up positive yard now. 3rd and 5.
From the 14-yard line on 3rd down and 5 for Ennis. Elliott, the lone man in the backfield. And Smith to throw. Nice leaping grab outside by Dante Thompson, using that 6'6" frame to haul it in for 7 yards and a 1st down.
Well, a nice job as well. You see the route running. He knows where he is on the field. He knows where he needs to be for the 1st down. Just a heads-up play by your big play wide receiver.
Dante Thompson on the catch. It's 1st and 10, Lions. The Ennis 21. And on 1st down, quick hand around the corner to D. Wilson, but the Timberwolves were ready for that. Just a 1-yard carry, and it was Thomas Hutchings on the tackle. We take a look at the 4 starting lineups for the Ennis Lions. The Lions offensive group: Brendan Rowland, Chris Young, Grant Cervantes, Spencer Six, outstanding right guard, and James Lockhart, the tight end. You'll hear his name on defense. The Thompsons, Taylor, and Dante, we told you about Destin Johnson and Trey Elliott. So it's 2nd down and 9 from the 22. With back split behind Devin Smith. He'll toss it, and this is Taylor Thompson breaking through, and Thompson enough for the 1st down. 18 yards up the middle before Hunter Vaughn, sophomore safety, can make the stop.
Well, the Timberwolves had 8 guys in the box and really doing a nice job. The Ennis front getting out. Chris Young leading the way there for Taylor Thompson, and he picks up a 1st down.
From the 39-yard line, Smith to throw. Caught, and another 1st down to the tight end, Austin Lawrence. Lawrence, the senior, 14 more on the rollout pass to the tight end.
Well, Devin Smith seeming very comfortable in the offense right now. It's a beautifully thrown ball. He knows he has his tight end open, and he gives him a very catchable pass.
Toss outside to Trey Elliott. Elliott, big running room and down the sidelines. Forced out of bounds by Hunter Vaughn.
Well, it looked like Trey Elliott had another gear there, Craig. Takes the toss. Again, great job of lead blocking there. Devin Collins this time getting out in front. Another good block downfield also by Dante Thompson, and Trey Elliott turned on the Jets.
18 yards on the carry. 1st down. Here's Taylor Thompson. Thompson breaking through, and Taylor Thompson inside the 15 and down to the 13-yard line. Another 15-yard carry.
Well, Taylor Thompson has got a lot of patience here, and take a look as he's going to go around. You're going to get a couple of guys that are going to wall off. Great blocking right there, into the patience to pop it back to the inside where the crease is.
Flag goes down, and a carry that goes nowhere on 1st down. Slow to get up is Taylor Thompson. Here's the call.
Holding. Offense number 26. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay 1st down.
Called on the tight end Lawrence. The 1st penalty in the ball game against Ennis. And then Jack Alvarez Lions back to the 22-yard line. Ennis on its 1st drive after forcing a punt from Cedar Park. They've already moved it 69 yards on this march, even with the penalty. Smith throwing back and beyond the reach of Taylor Thompson. He was open, but it's incomplete.
And they just put a little bit more air underneath that ball. Taylor Thompson had outflanked the defense, staying on more of this little throwback pass right over the top, and Taylor Thompson not able to come up with the grab.
2nd and 20 for the Lions.
I do like the aggressive play calling there. Offensive coordinator Brandon Lane doing a good job so far mixing the run and the pass on this drive, Craig, as you said. 69 yards already. They're knocking on the door here.
Trey Elliott, the running back. Smith looks to throw again. Out to Taylor Thompson. But he's dropped after just a 2-yard grab down at the 20-yard line. And Jacob Hines, a junior safety, on the stop for Cedar Park.
A really nice job of Jacob Hines reading that play, coming right down off the strong safety spot. As he saw Trey Elliott running in the flat. Excuse me, Taylor Thompson checked that. 3, not 1, but good open field tackle there by Hines.
3rd down and 18 for Ennis at the Timberwolves 20-yard line. Smith going to loft the end zone, too much on it. He was looking for Dante Thompson, but even Dante with his height not going to be able to come down with that ball.
Well, and the Timberwolves defense was spot on. They had what you call bracket coverage on Dante Thompson, where he had a defender behind him and a defender in front of him.
So it is 4th down. We'll see what the Lions choose to do here. The ball is at the 20. It is 4th down and 18. And coming out will be Brandon Martinek. So Martinek on for the field goal. This will be a 38-yard drive, but Jack Alvarez wants to talk about this before Martinek tries the field goal, so they call a timeout. 7:43 to go first quarter. Ennis bidding for the game's first score here in the 5A Division II State Football Championship.
You promised to play for one another. You committed to that. And that's what I'm betting on. That's what I'm betting on. I'm betting on you. Because when you know your brother's got your back, you're unstoppable. While other people are doubting, you're not doubting your guys. I ain't worried about them. I'm talking about us. We don't doubt us. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Play with your heart, play with your head, play with class.
Yes, sir.
Understand me?
Yes, sir.
Most of all, let's have some fun. It's a game. Don't forget, it's a game. That's time.
Jack Alvarez with the words for his team. Now, Brandon Martinek on for the field goal try of 37 yards. And the kick is good. So Martinek, the senior, puts Ennis on top. A good opening drive for Ennis after stopping Cedar Park, Shea.
And the way that they mixed the pass and the run, Craig, and being very effective and efficient. All guys, Dante Thompson, he converted on that first down to get them off the goal line, and Devin Smith did a masterful job of leading the offense and getting them into field goal range, and Martinek comes up with that field goal. And as you said, not only is it a good first drive, but it's a confidence-building drive as well for Ennis, because all the talk has been around the Timberwolves defense and how aggressive they play and how they check down a whole lot of offenses, and to have a drive that extends that long, that many plays, and then you get points on it, it's got to give you a boost of confidence.
Well, and what Jack Alvarez has done at Ennis is to build confidence and wins. Reached the Final Four last year, losing to eventual state champion Alito, who of course is playing to defend the title, playing for the 5A Division I crown tomorrow against Temple at high noon. Temple and Alito. And here Ennis with a 3-0 lead on the field goal by Brandon Martinek. So Martinek scores, and now Cedar Park will get the ball again. T-Wolves, no strangers to deficits. You heard Joe Willis say they were down 14 several times this season. Kickoff fielded by Elisha Gidry. Gidry bounces forward to the 31-yard line. It's a return of 14 yards. So Cedar Park had to punt after the first possession. Now trying to move it from here. Hutchings will be in the backfield with Amir Alzer. And also, Jav Gidry will line up in the backfield, and it's Gidry who draws the carry. Gidry bouncing forward and up to the 36-yard line for a gain of 5. Jake Turner, the tackle for Ennis. We take a look at the Ford starting lineup defensively for the Lions. James Lockhart, he's the playmaker. A commitment of Texas A&M with 119 tackles and 11 sacks. Anchors the defensive front. Saw the linebackers there. Here is Jack Grimm. Grimm breaking through. A big carry, 18 yards and a first down.
The Grimm name goes big with the Cedar Park Timberwolves. Brother played quarterback.
Right.
Nice job right there in the run. Jack Grimm is 6'3", 200-pounder. He's a load.
Alzer with a jump pass over the middle and incomplete. Trying to go with a pop pass to Miles Cheatham, the tight end. It's incomplete. It brings up second down and 10.
You know, Craig, and we've talked about this a little bit, but how many guys, these two-way players? I mean, obviously, we talked about Thomas Hutchings, and he's probably the most notable. However, Miles Cheatham, he's a linebacker as well, and he plays and he starts. So a lot of snaps. Jav Guidry, he also plays defense for the Timberwolves, and we've already seen him carry the ball tonight.
Thomas Hutchings' brother, Chris, on the carry now. And he's an interesting story, a senior. Drake Keene, defensive, made the tackle. It's a 4-yard gain. Chris, according to head coach Joe Willis, was really the more talented, certainly on offense. Running back had just a devastating knee injury in the scrimmage prior to last season. He's been recovering and has built up carries over time. This season, over 500 yards and carries there. But on 3rd down and 6, Chris Hutchings loses a yard. Drake Keene and Jake Turner make the tackle, and now it's 4th down for the Timberwolves.
Nice aggressive defense there by the Ennis Lions.
Alzer movement in the line. This was a stop play before it got going.
The infraction with contact.
Contact, number 31 on the defense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
Darius Edwards, encroachment, making contact, and that's why the play was halted.
Well, Fiala came up with the catch, and he did stay in bounds, even though the ball was tipped and bounded over. But because of the contact, it's just a 5-yard mark, and now it's 4th down and about, looks like 2 yards.
Yep. It's 4th and 7 and a 4th down and 2, and Alzer. Return, handed, up the middle, Grimm surging forward, and I don't know. From where they're spotting, it's going to be very close. Timberwolves think they have it.
But Jake Turner for the Ennis Lion defense, number 5, he's the one who got up off the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, this is stopped. They're going to mark him down. Really almost no gain on the play. Needed the 36-yard line. He surged forward, but then was driven back. And Ennis has held. The Lions will take over.
That was an impressive stand right there. And also Logan Lipscomb, the safety that we saw knock the ball, jar the ball loose earlier on the first drive by the Timberwolves. He was on the bottom of the pile as well.
Ennis starts from its own 38. A handoff to Taylor Thompson. Big gainer on 1st down. A pickup of 8 yards for the senior running back. Thomas Hutchings flipping over the defense to make the stop for the Timberwolves.
Greg, we talk about Hutchings and all of the accolades and the things that he's got. You had a chance earlier this year in your duties with the Texas Longhorns to see Miles Jack.
Absolutely.
Two-way player from UCLA. Is it
a tremendous player? And this young man certainly has done that at the high school level. On 2nd down and 2. Smith looking to throw. Picks up a big block, and that'll spring him for a run and the 1st down. 16 yards. Smith looked as though he wanted to throw the football until he picked up that devastating block on the outside, Shea, that sprung him.
Yeah, you take another look as he bounces the ball out to the right side. Good lead blockers there, and wide receivers turning into blockers for him. He saw the grass and decided to take it. That was a wise choice.
Down to the Cedar Park 38-yard line. The toss to Elliott. Elliott around the corner and is moving the ball on the ground against the Timberwolves. A 12-yard carry and another 1st down. Here's that wide receiver blocker we're talking about.
Dante Thompson is the man, and he's out there. You can just see the size, and he's physical. Just kind of swallows or envelops the defender and Trey Elliott does not need a whole lot more than that.
From the 26. And off again, this time to Taylor Thompson. Breaks through and inside the 20.
Wow, it was a nifty move right there at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was hit and stopped, and he just kind of waited a half count, bounced off, planted the right foot, took it straight up the middle of the field. Right there, he makes a guy miss. A couple of Timberwolf defenders around him.
7 on the carry. Brandon Saletti to the tackle. 2nd down and 3 for the Lions. Smith under center for this snap. And lofting for the end zone. Thompson, the touchdown. Dante Thompson in for the score.
Greg, on this drive, Dante Thompson had been lining up to the right side of the formation. They bring him down to the left side of the formation where he gets ISO coverage. Elijah Guidry, not bad coverage, but at 6'6", you bet.
Against 5'11".
And going up just over the top. A very nicely thrown ball there by Devin Smith.
Lions with another score. Back-to-back possessions. First, the field goal by Brandon Martinek. And now the touchdown pass to Dante Thompson, and Martinek's extra point makes it a 10-0 Ennis lead with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dante Thompson on the receiving end of the pass for the score. And now a special message from State Farm.
I'm John.
Season. And Ennis now up 10-0.
And the 4th down stop by the Lion defense is what turned the ball back over to their offense. And Devin Smith did a masterful job moving him down the field. That was a beautifully thrown ball out to Dante Thompson.
The kickoff. Short, bounced, and fielded. A nice return out to the 40-yard line. Chad Guidry. Cedar Park now back on its heel. Maybe they're in familiar territory. As we said, they've trailed by double digits on multiple occasions this season. So now they'll try to rally back. Amir Alzer will try to get the T-Wolf offense untracked. Hutchings, the running back. Thomas Hutchings, not brother Chris. And it is Thomas Hutchings.
Well, met at the line of scrimmage by Keandre Flowers.
2-yard carry for Thomas Hutchings. Keandre Flowers makes the stop.
Well, Flowers is a fairly active linebacker, 141 tackles on the season.
2 interceptions for Keandre Flowers as well. Hutchings again on the ground. Maybe a couple more, and then gang tackled, but Drake Keene and Jake Turner leading the assault. And Cedar Park back in that 3rd down situation where the Timberwolves on 3rd down here in the first quarter are 0 for 2. So on 3rd and 5.
Coach Willis going to use a timeout?
Yep, timeout for Cedar Park. 10-0, the lead for Ennis. Let's go down to the sidelines. Our Brooke Bentley catching up with technology, Brooke.
That's right, Craig. For the first time in high school football history, every varsity player on the field is wearing a helmet with an insert. It's an unequal insert just like this. It is using Kevlar-based technology. It's a military-grade Kevlar, in fact. And when a player gets hit in the helmet, the energy disperses, and therefore it reduces the incidences of concussions. Both coaches really saying it has helped their teams this season. Craig, back up to you.
Thank you, Brooke. Boy, that's
pretty slick.
Yeah, you gotta
I like that a lot. You bet. When you think about it, with carbon fiber and all of the materials and nanotechnology and the things that you can do to protect that are lightweight, which is kind of all the trappings wrapped into one, but that Kevlar insert, that's fantastic.
Out of the timeout. 3rd down and 5 for the Timberwolves from their 44. Straight ahead for Hutchings. 1 yard short of the first down. Picked up 4 yards. Brian Nelson the tackle. Cedar Park, no hesitation. They'll line up to go for it on 4th down and 1. Alzer, a hard count. Nobody moving for Ennis. Now Alzer drifts a little bit further back, and he will pooch punt this. Like a little pop fly, it'll bound downfield and roll down to the 14.
He's executed those
line.
beautifully. 2 times. He's gotten the ball inside the 20. Both times.
A 38-yard punt with no return. Now it's up to the Timberwolves defense to try to keep Ennis bottled up. How did the Lions get here? We look at the pass going all the way back to the 2000. As that one goes for a win, and then beating South Oak Cliff in the quarterfinal round. Then in the semifinals, knocking off Canutillo from El Paso, the deepest run ever by an El Paso school history out in El Paso County. A great season for the Canutillo Lions before being vanquished by the Ennis Lions. On 1st down, Smith escaping one tackler and then popping it forward. A gain of 4 yards. Brandon Saletti, the tackle, interesting because it looked like he'd be trapped and turned that into a positive gain.
Well, that was Thomas Hutchings who was putting that initial pressure, Craig, on Devin Smith, and just used the word crafty and wily to escape the tackle there and pick up positive yards when it looked like he would probably have dropped for a loss of maybe 3 or 4.
2nd down and 6. Smith, and a handoff to Thompson.
Well, the lead blocking for this Ennis line offense is very impressive. Chris Young again leading the way around. Number 60, we've called his name a couple of times already. He's active, getting downfield, and easy for Taylor Thompson just to kind of hang behind him and let him pick up that block before he makes his cut.
3rd down and 3 for the Lions from the Ennis 21. Devin Smith looked to throw, eluding a tackler, downfield and caught by the tight end, Lawrence, for the 1st down.
Austin Lawrence has had a couple of nice routes, Greg. The first one was a drag across the middle of the defense. This one he's going to work the sideline. Devin Smith again getting outside, breaking containment, outflanking the defense, and he locates Austin right there on the sideline for a 1st down.
It looked like Augustine Tombe was going to get him. And like several occasions in the 1st quarter, Smith able to elude trouble. Trey Elliott, however, cannot. He'll be pushed back. Saletti leading the charge for Cedar Park. Let's look at the forward starting lineup on defense for the Timberwolves. Jake Barber, Brandon Saletti, Chris Best, the down lineman. Augustine Tombe, Mac McCaskill, Thomas Hutchings playing on both sides of the ball. And Brooks Lahowski, Jav Guidry, Hunter Vaughn, Jacob Hines, and Elisha Guidry in the secondary. 2nd down and 10 for Ennis. From the line of 33. And again, nothing in the middle of the line.
Jake Barber there to make sure.
Barber wrapping up Taylor Thompson. Thompson on the play. Just a gain of a yard. And it brings up 3rd down. And Ennis, see if they get the play started before the end of the quarter. On 3rd down and 9. Smith, quick toss, incomplete. Intended for Thompson. And what should be the first Lions punt of the ball game will come on the first play of the second quarter. Ennis' first 2 drives resulted in touchdown, a field goal and a touchdown, and a 10-0 lead on Cedar Park in a 5A Division II state championship. Our view from the office this weekend. The 5A Division II State Football Championship. 3rd game of the day. And Ennis with a 10-0 lead on Cedar Park as the Lions prepare to punt for the first time on 4th and 9. Martinek. Kick is away and fielded by Jav Gidry. The middle, and Cedar Park will have good field position, a 31-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Look at the first quarter numbers in this one, Shay. And Ennis was able to keep the ball moving, keep the time of possession, and the average yards per play. That's a big difference.
It is a big difference, and it is impressive. Again, we've been talking about the prowess of this Timberwolves defense, and they have been salty all season long and really carrying this team into this game.
Finally,
in that first, sorry about that, Craig, but in that first quarter, Ennis Lions offensively, good cadence, good rhythm, and Devin Smith doing a good job of executing the offense.
Timberwolves were finally able to get the stop. Chris Hutchings is stopped on first down. In fact, he'll lose a yard. Driven back by Jordan Webster. See Hutchings with that knee brace on, Shay, from that injury sustained preseason scrimmage prior to 2013, but a long road back for Thomas Hutchings' brother. Now 2nd down and 12. Hauser faking the option and then to the air and picked off at the 40-yard line by Trey Edwards. Edwards on that tip drill, pulling it in, and Ennis gets the football back.
Tip drill to self. Great defense downfield. Outstanding coverage by the Lions defense. Hauser wanted to go more into the middle of the field, and you see right there, Trey Edwards elevates, never loses contact with the ball, stays on it, stays in bounds, and comes down with the interception.
Excellent defensive play by Trey Edwards, the senior quarterback. His 4th interception of the season.
Outstanding coverage there. Again, you could tell Hauser wanted to go, Craig, more in the middle of the field, but he went to his 2nd, if not 3rd option. And Trey Edwards was there to come up with the defensive stop.
Smith to the air, wide open downfield, the catch, and taking it in for the touchdown is D. Wilson. One play, 60 yards.
Another beautifully thrown ball by Devin Smith. He's got D. Wilson running the corner route behind the cornerback into the left side of the safety. Wide open, puts enough air underneath it. Wilson runs under it, grabs it, walks into the end zone.
The turnover turns into a touchdown one play after the interception.
Offensive coordinator Brandon Lane, so far for these Ennis Lions, has called a very aggressive and effective scheme.
Quick strike from Devin Smith to D. Wilson.
Offense number 67. 5 yards, retry.
Stark will make the extra point kick a little longer. Brandon Martinek. Now for the kick. It's good. It has become a 3-score lead. Ennis on top of Cedar Park, 17-0. Texas.statefarm.com to get to a better state. By DQ, the stop sign of Texas. For the best eats, treats, and drinks in Texas, stop at DQ. And by Ford. The Dream Big sales event is going on now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Ennis adding to its lead with a big pass here, Shay.
Take a look at where D. Wilson lines up, Craig. And we're going to stop this just about half and let it go, guys. Take a look here as he's coming downfield. Here's D. Wilson now. This guy takes the safety out. D. Wilson runs the corner out right behind the cornerback, and another beautifully thrown ball by Devin Smith for the touchdown.
And a commanding lead for Ennis here in the second quarter. And Cedar Park needs to regroup. That kickoff, however, goes out of bounds, and that'll benefit the Timberwolves.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
Joe Willis wanting Ennis to re-kick, trying to get the football in the hands of his returners. Try to get some momentum going with a big return, perhaps.
And that ball, Craig, it looked like I would say around the 30-yard line, and so you get the 35 would be the line of scrimmage, plus or minus a yard or two. Coach Willis figuring he maybe needs a little bit more of a spark than that and better starting field position.
So once more, Martinek will kick off. Jav Guidry, Elijah Guidry back deep to receive it. Another kickoff, and now running up to receive it, Javelin Guidry. Over the 30 and well up to the 35, 36-yard line, 11-yard return. That's where Cedar Park begins.
Good special teams coverage there by the Lions getting downfield.
So now Ennis back on the defense. Cedar Park trying to get some offense going. Down 17-0 here in the second quarter. Mayor Alser handing off. Big running room, Thomas Hutchins. And the man they call Tahoe takes it upfield for 27 yards before James Lockhart can run it down.
Well, that's a pretty good start right there, right in the teeth of that defense. Great blocking.
Try to go quickly back to work, but before they did so, timeout was called.
The ball was not marked ready for play. Reset the play.
So since it was not marked ready for play, Joe Willis uses the opportunity to gather his team very quickly and send it back onto the field.
Best offensive play of the game so far for the Timberwolves is that run right there by Thomas Hutchins.
Chris Hutchins in the backfield now, and he draws the carry. Bounds forward down to the 34-yard line for a pickup of 4. Ryan Nelson the tackle.
And seeing this Timberwolves offense kind of trying to spread that Ennis defense out. We've seen trip receivers to the short side of the field. Now you got 2 receivers out to the wide side. Trying to create a little bit of space and running room in that interior.
Second down and 6 from the 34. On the option, Alser to keep. Outside, Amir Alser to the end zone. And Cedar Park is on the board.
Well, a very effective drive by the Timberwolves. Started by Thomas Hutchins. You kind of expect that, leader of your team, to get you started off on the right foot, knowing that you need to get points on the board. Run the option game. Great blocking downfield. Outstanding job, Davis Fiala. Throwing that last block, allowing Alser to break it out to the right side for the touchdown.
Garrett Yarrow for the conversion. And the kick gives Cedar Park 7 points. A crucial drive for the Timberwolves to climb back into this football game, Shay.
Well, they start off with Twins receivers on the left side. They bring the third receiver in motion across the formation, made sure that there were enough blockers down there, and Alzer did a fabulous job navigating. He's rushed for 798 yards coming into this game tonight. 9 touchdowns, and I'd say none bigger than that one right there for the Timberwolves.
I started to say, how important was that scoring drive?
Well, they needed it, and they did it in a hurry.
Well, the Timberwolves en route to the championship. Co-champions of District 25 5A routed a previously unbeaten Bernie champion ball club in the area round. Then in the Sweet 16, the regional, taking out the Sherryland Rattlers from the Rio Grande Valley. And then in the semifinal round, only a once-beaten Crosby team, but the T-Wolves, a big night. Thomas Hutchings, a big night. Cedar Park advancing to its second state championship game in 3 years under Joe Willis. Alzer talking it over on the sidelines. Timberwolves climb back into the game. Now, after Cedar Park got a stop earlier, can they unleash what they call the Black Rain defense back again on the Ennis offense? A fake on the onside kick, not going to happen.
Well, defensively, and really where you would not expect to see Cedar Park struggle. They have had a tough time taming this Lions offense.
Jensen, the kickoff, D. Wilson, who just scored on the 60-yard touchdown for Ennis, brings it back to the 26-yard line. Well, that Black Rain defense this season has only allowed 305 total per game, but already 223 yards in the first half.
We've got 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter. So again, this Ennis Lion offense, very proficient, very aggressive play calling. Jack Alvarez, Brandon Lane, the head coach and offensive coordinator, doing a good job of dialing up the right plays, and Devin Smith executing to perfection right now.
From the 26. Smith brought down, cut back inside. Not sure if it was a busted play. It winds up being a 3-yard carry as Mac McCaskill made the stop.
Well, Destin Smith, wide receiver, the slot receiver on the right side, was coming across the formation, which looked like that jet sweep or the speed sweep. Somehow he and Devin Smith not on the same page, and Smith just kind of pirouettes and goes forward and picks up 3 yards.
Second down and 7 from the 29. Thompson and Elliott, the back, split behind. Trouble again, the ball loose on the turf, and Cedar Park has a recovery.
Well, the run blitz was on, and it is Thomas Hutchings, I believe, who comes through
to disrupt it, and Augustine Tombe on the recovery. Now a flag, a dead ball flag after the recovery. The ball will go over to Cedar Park, and we'll see what the call is afterwards. This Dallas chapter of officials will explain it. But Cedar Park will have the football. We'll still sort it out. Now the explanation.
Dead ball. Sportsmanlike conduct. Number 22 of the recovering team. 15 yards. First down. Cedar Park.
Cedar Park will have the ball. But Brooks Lahowski.
Take a look at the run blitz right there by Thomas Hutchings. He gets to Devin Smith before Devin Smith can get the ball to the running back.
And I'm not sure where the penalty came in on Lahowski afterwards.
Well, it was late. Flag was thrown very late.
So it's moved back to the 32-yard line.
Timberwolves with great field position. Let's see what they can do after a turnover.
And Chris Hutchings, the running back. Alzer rolling on the option, turning it back outside and then back inside. In the end, it net results a 2-yard carry as James Lockhart made the stop. Second down and 8. To the ground. This time, Chris Hutchings carrying it forward. Jake Turner on the tackle. 3rd down and 2 in Cedar Park, going quick tempo. Direct snap. And not enough. That one to Miles Cheatham, the tight end. But he's short of the 1st down, and now it's going to be 4th down for the T-Wolves, and they're still going to need what looks to be about a ½ yard for the 1st down. This time, Alzer
not going to get it. He got hit from the inside by James Lockhart, and then the rest of that defense came over the top. Devontae Edwards, I believe, is going to be the guy who put the hit on Amir Alzer. Lockhart got to him first from the inside, and then the Lions defense came off the corner, off the edge.
Sudden change defense, good for Ennis, and it now will bring up. They'll go ahead and measure, but it doesn't look like it's enough for the 1st down.
Wow. Where is it?
It is extremely close. Ennis football.
We've not seen the sign yet, Craig. Hang on. Oh,
no, Cedar Park. Wow. Holy cow.
Jack Alvarez.
Cedar Park is awarded 1st down. Look at it right there. A chain link looks to be between the pole and the tip of the football. Cedar Park football. Alzer to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Davis Fiala.
What a turn of events. Davis Fiala beats man coverage. Nicely thrown ball there by Alzer. Devontae Edwards, who looked to be the one to have the stop on Alzer on 4th and short. Nice coverage there, but a better throw and better catch.
Extra point kick. Good. 14 unanswered for the Timberwolves, and Cedar Park has pulled to within 3. The touchdown catch by Davis Fiala. Touchdown grab to pull Cedar Park within 3. Take nothing away from that, but obviously would take you back to that 4th down measurement, Shea Walker, and there's the stretch of the chains. Ennis thought it had a stop. Cedar Park thought it had it. First, here's the confusion. First,
yes,
it was, the indication was going to be Ennis ball. Then it went Cedar Park football. And watch Jack Alvarez's response.
He's showing the link of change. And next play, Amir Alzer finds Fiala in the end zone, and a nice grab by Fiala.
As a result, 17-14. Kickoff fielded out of bounds. Yes. That was close. D. Wilson almost fielded it inbounds and went out of bounds, but it was fielded out of bounds. The correct call there.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
Yeah, and the Lions choosing to return.
32 yards in 5 plays after the fumble recovery.
Great effort by Fiala going down and grabbing that ball for his 9th touchdown on the season. A little highlight reel material for the young man.
So now it from the 35. The Timberwolves to re-kick. Fields it on the hop of the 20-yard line. All the way across the 40. Excellent field position for the Lions now. And A 3-point Ennis lead. Now let's see how Ennis responds after the back-to-back Cedar Park touchdowns.
Well, offensively, when they were doing things so well, driving the ball, starting on their own 4-yard line, getting it all the way down into field goal range for Martinek, and then pretty much having success, Craig, running the ball, throwing the ball. Devin Smith did a nice job in see if he can get back and stay in that rhythm.
Taylor Thompson, movement in the backfield and a false start against Ennis.
That doesn't help on the rhythm.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Grant Cervantes, the senior center for the Lions. Mark the Lions back 5 yards further. So first and 15 now from the 35. Penalties have factored in to this here in the first half. Taylor Thompson, the running back. And Smith looking to throw on the run. What a catch. Great grab made by Trey Elliott. He was cutting across the middle. Tremendous grab to the 44-yard line, a gain of 9.
Nice job of getting that lead blocker out again, clearing the path, making sure that Devin Smith's got a guy in front of him. Hunter out, not bad coverage there. Trey Elliott comes up with a good catch.
Now it's second down at 6, so it gets into a makeable situation here. 2 downs to pick up 6 yards after that first down rollout pass of 9 to Elliott. Taylor Thompson, the toss. Some room outside. First down and into Timberwolf territory.
The cut block out there by D. Wilson happened way away from the play, but it was certainly one. And take another look. Well, here's the end of the run. Good finish right there by Taylor Thompson, running right over the top of the defender. That was just after he received a great block by his wide receiver to allow him to bounce it back out to the left and get on the sideline and pick up the first down.
13 yards. The Taylor Thompson toss sweep. Ennis on the move again now. Back to the ground and Cedar Park all over it. T-Wolves drop Thompson for a loss of 5. Thomas Hutchings leading the assault, but you see right there just trying to cut back, and Thompson.
All those white jerseys, though, that's enough to make you want to cut back.
Saletti, Hutchings.
There's 5 all-district defenders. Clay Brimmer, Ryan Lemons, Thomas Hutchings, Miles Cheatham, and Jake Barber, all-district players for these Timberwolves.
Second down at 14. And then Taylor started to burst through. He'll pick up 6 yards, brings up third down at 8. And the district of which you speak, Shea Walker, District 25-5A, easily one of the most competitive and one of the most balanced in the state of Texas. In Conference 5A, Vandegrift, one of the Division I representatives, just knocked out last week in the semifinal round by Temple. Cedar Park shared the district championship with Vista Ridge, which was upset in the by-district round by LBJ, which went to the quarterfinals before Vandegrift knocked them out. And then Eastview, the newer school of Georgetown, also a playoff team. And Georgetown, which didn't even make the playoffs, was ranked number 3 in the state at one point this season. So a very competitive district. And the play clock going to 0.
False start. Offense number 3. 5 yards. Replay third down.
And before the play clock hit 0, Taylor Thompson moved, and it'll cost the Lions 5.
And where the Lions were so proficient early in the game, not putting themselves in bad positions, not getting motion penalties. Seen that happen now a couple times, and those are very difficult to overcome. Certainly when you're playing a defense that is talented as the Timberwolves.
Third down at 14. A handoff. Thompson really leveled by Tahoe. Thomas Hutchings. No gain on the play.
Just an outstanding job staying home, reading the keys. There was a little bit of a misdirection play to try to sneak Taylor Thompson back into the middle with all the momentum and everything rolling out wide. Thomas Hutchings stays home, comes up with an open field tackle.
4th down. Thomas Hutchings, a really interesting story. That snap skips in and a flag is down. And fair catch made by Jav Guidry. We'll check and see the flag.
We also have a flag down.
Offsides. Defense number 42. That penalty's declined. 1st down.
So Cedar Park will have the football. This is the 3rd game of the day, and the day got off to a tremendous start in the 4A Division II state championship. Undefeated Gilmer down 18 at the half, and they mounted a huge rally in the 3rd quarter, beginning with Nick Smith's 13-yard touchdown catch. Then 11 seconds later, Devin Smith recovered a Mustang fumble in the end zone. They were within 4 at 25-21. Offensive MVP Blake Lynch caps the comeback on the Wildcat keeper. The Gilmer Buckeyes win their first state title in 5 years, honoring the memory of fallen teammate Desmond Pollard. What a great comeback to win 35-25 over a very good West Orange Stark team to win the 4A Division II title. On 1st down, Chris Hutchings on the carry, but only 1 yard as he's knocked down.
Flowers coming in off of that middle linebacker spot, locking on to Chris Hutchings. Nice job of getting to senior, coming right downhill, and got the linebackers that are coming downhill. It's impressive.
2nd down and 9, breaking through.
Still some power there.
Yeah, still surging forward is Chris Hutchings. And again, Joe Willis said he was on pace to become a great high school running back until that knee injury. Of course, Brother Thomas has been an outstanding player on defense and more than serviceable on offense with over 1,000 rushing yards. Now it's Thomas's turn. Thomas Hutchings. Here goes Hutchings. Hutchings. Say goodnight to it. 75 yards.
How about the big runs by Thomas Hutchings when this Timberwolves team needs him desperately? The play looked like it was all bottled up in the middle. He bounces out to the right side where he sees grass in the speed. 5'10", 205-pound senior, and nobody was going to catch him.
This young man's an amazing story. The extra point gives Cedar Park 21 points. The Timberwolves' first lead of the night, 21 unanswered here in the 2nd quarter, and a 21-17 lead.
Everything gets bottled up right there at the line of scrimmage, and the vision and alertness by Thomas Hutchings.
And Shane, look at the speed. This is what Joe Willis said confounds him. Absolutely confounds him. But this young man, excellent student, team leader, captain, 5A Defensive Player of the Year, good speed, has no real legitimate college scholarship offers.
And it really is kind of baffling. I get it. And I'm reminded of a Bill Yeoman quote. Do you remember the quarterback Gerald Landry?
Of course.
Out of Beaumont? Bill Yeoman said about Gerald Landry, if he was 6 foot, he'd be All-American. And you just kind of feel like Thomas Hutchings, somebody's going to get a fantastic player. Somebody's going to get a fantastic player, because you talk about that 5A Defensive Player of the Year and over 1,000 yards rushing. And again, he doesn't tire. He plays offense, he plays defense, and he wants to play every snap, and he's a big contributor on both. He's really the spark, Craig, in this 2nd quarter that has gotten this Timberwolves offense kind of running just a little bit. That big run that he had on the on the 2nd touchdown drive. Looking for your leader to make plays, he's delivered.
Pop-up kick, fielded, rolling around upfield with it. And for the Lions, it's Isaac Montemayor. I want to remind you what's coming up on the Ford halftime show from here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And the crew, Rick Renner, Greg Tepper, and also Randy Rogers. We'll look back at a tremendous day in high school football in this venue in the prior 2 games today. And this game has turned out to be pretty darn good, like we thought it would be. From the 36. Smith to the air and has a target. It's Dante Thompson. A gain of 11 yards and a first down. Now after hitting with the touchdown pass earlier, Shea, and then we hadn't heard anything from Dante Thompson in a little while.
He's been out there. It really has been a onslaught by the Timberwolves offensively. They're really dominating the time of possession in the second quarter, coming up with those big plays.
Devin Smith looking to throw, but before he get going, flags come down.
Hutchings was coming on the run once again.
Offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Now let me ask you, as a former player, Trey Elliott's the running back call for that. Is that him sensing what's going to happen and then he's just trying to get off the line of scrimmage there?
Yeah, but you see where he was lined up in more of like that wing back spot.
Yep.
And it was just really getting, he wasn't really as a running back in that position. Just got off a half count early, but it is a 5-yard penalty.
And now Ennis starting to struggle a bit, both with the penalties and being moved back.
Let's say successive drives now, or offensive possessions for the Lions. They're getting these false start penalties.
Smith looking to throw downfield, and there to make the catch is D. Wilson. And Wilson right at the first down marker on 1st and 15. Jav Guidry brought him down, and it's enough for the first down.
A very similar play that we saw Austin Lawrence catch earlier in the first half. I like the way Devin Smith lays that ball out there, gets it to his receiver. He's got man coverage trailing, but he's going into another zone. Gets it to him just in time where he can cover up. And man, the Ennis Lions, false start.
False start. Offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Wilson, who just made the big catch. The point that I was going to make, or the question I was going to ask you, Shea, is when a defense starts to play as Cedar Parks has in the second quarter, can it make your offense a little jittery, some of your guys, and trying to make sure they're in position to make a block and maybe coming out of the three-point stance a little early?
I'm going to say no. It doesn't. I mean, you got to hold your water. I mean, it's just the discipline and paying attention and making sure that you're on count.
To the ground. And that's Taylor Thompson. Bounces through for 6 yards. Brings up second down at 9, down at 90 seconds to play in the half. Clay Bremer, the tackle.
And Taylor Thompson getting up a little slowly. He took a pretty tough shot there. We heard it all the way here in the booth. And he's kind of favoring that right side. Take another look here just at the end of the run. He driven into the turf there.
But he's back in the backfield on second down and 9. And Smith looking to go downfield. Too much on it. Looking for Dante Thompson. A little bit under duress. Had to release the football. A little more force than he wanted. It went too high. Now it's third down and 9 for Ennis.
One of the errant passes that we've seen Devin Smith. Otherwise, he has been spot on in the first half. Getting the ball out there where his receivers can catch it. That one just sailed on him a bit.
From the T-Wolf 42. You see Devin Smith hit some big passes here in this first half. But before they get going, guess what?
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
Third false start call against the Lions on this drive. In this case, the left guard, Chris Young. Just pulled up a little too quickly out of the stands. We may have a timeout called here beforehand. 1:01 on the game clock to reset that. So third down and 14. And for some reason they started the clock. It should not have. We'll move it back to 101 again.
The clock was dead. Please reset the clock to 101. The ball will start on the snap.
So back to 101 on the clock. And now third down and 14. Wilson, speed sweep, well short of the first down.
Well, and getting run out of bounds is going to favor Joe Willis and the Timberwolves right now.
Cedar Park does have 2 timeouts remaining as well, and it's fourth down. So fourth down and 9, and Ennis to punt with 57 seconds to go in the half. Timberwolves being told to come back upfield, and they try to get a timeout going. Sure enough, Cedar Park was expecting a fake punt, and the Timberwolves got the timeout.
It's their second charge timeout.
Joe Willis was racing to the field to say timeout, 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 saw what was coming, and was awarded the timeout.
Well, and Destin Johnson was a wide receiver on the boundary. Taking a look, here's Destin Johnson right here, and here's Coach calling for the timeout.
Let's take a look at this again, Shane. Now watch how quickly, and circle Coach Willis to show this, how quickly he's moving down the line to call the timeout.
Here he is right here.
And you see the signal going.
Yep, and he's coming right here. Timeout, timeout.
Yep, in the white hat.
Man, I mean, it was
just
that was close, in the nick of time.
So fourth and 9 now. Now we'll see if the Lions do indeed punt, as Ranton Martinek has come back out.
Well, in a very similar formation, because here's Destin Johnson, the wide receiver. You got to believe now, though, the ball's going to be punted away, but nobody deep.
And Martinek will kick the ball. Fair catch. Made inside the 10. 34 yards on the punt. Garrett Cassart on the fair catch. Invites you to stay tuned for the fourth halftime report. Rick Renner, Greg Tepper, Ken Purcell, the coach, joining us. A preview of tomorrow's 5A Division I state championship. Defending state champion Aledo taking on Temple. And what a finish in tonight's second game. Navasota and Argyle took 2 overtimes.
Number 1 versus number 2, right?
Both undefeated. Number 1 against number 2 all season long.
And that game goes into double overtime.
How about that? Cedar Park with it. Back on the Timberwolves' 8-yard line with 51 seconds to go in the half. Chris Hutchings in the backfield. And it is Chris Hutchings on the carry. Great gain on the tackle. The T-Wolves apparently intend to let the clock run out. Now Thomas Hutchings will come in on this play, and he may be handed the ball, but unless he breaks one big, as he did the last time, and Cedar Park would let the clock run out. It is Thomas Hutchings. Surging forward, and the ball did pop loose. It came loose, and Ennis has it. But he may have been ruled down on the turf. Devontae Edwards came up with it. Here's another look.
Timeout. Defense.
That's Jake Turner, I believe, who stripped the ball away from Thomas Hutchings. Covered by Devontae Edwards.
Please set the clock for 12 seconds.
But the ball is going to stay with the Timberwolves.
Well, the ball did come out, but the whistle had sounded.
Coach Alvarez is saying, tough half on the officiating side. Offensively, you can read the lips there. He said it's not even close.
3rd down and 5. Our only option will go down. And Ennis may use its final timeout, if nothing else, to force Cedar Park to run a 4th down play.
Timeout. Defense. It's their 3rd and final timeout.
Ennis will take the timeout to force Cedar Park to run a play, if nothing else, on 4th down. I want to remind you that tonight on Fox Sports Live, Gary Payton is here to break down how LeBron and the Cavs had to bounce back from their worst performance of the season. And the Padres shocked the baseball world with another big trade. That's tonight on Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1. Cedar Park will have to snap the football on 4th down with 5 seconds to go in the first half. And T-Wolves will line up to punt. Hayden Craig to come in to punt on 4th down.
Nope, they're concerned about burning 5 seconds of clock.
Craig is knocked down. It is fielded by Edwards. Here's Edwards brought down to do it. Cedar Park coaching staff pretty upset because Hayden Craig was knocked hard to the turf. And no flag there, and the first half is over. And what a first half. Big plays, big comeback. Oh, look at this. No flag thrown. Craig went down. And Cedar Park down 17-0.
I can see Coach Willis is holding the Timberwolves, Craig, on the sideline before they go into the locker room.
Down 17 points. The T-Wolves bounce back with 21 second quarter unanswered points to take a 4-point lead into the locker room at the half. Let's go down the sidelines. Brooke Bentley with head coach Joe Willis.
Coach, you were just talking to your team. You gathered them at midfield. What was your message to them?
Well, I said we just got to settle down and play Cedar Park football. You know, we made some mistakes in the first half that we're not accustomed to making. You know, I think our guys will go in there and regroup. We had a great second quarter. We got to continue to build on that momentum.
21 unanswered points in the second quarter. What kind of rhythm was your offense able to find?
Well, I think, you know, the biggest thing is they played a little bit of different. They played some different adjustments on us. And once we got those adjustments down, I think that things settled down for our guys. And now they know where everybody's at. We'll go block them and we'll go score some touchdowns.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Craig, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Brooke. What a ball game. 5A Division II state championship. Ennis had all the first quarter momentum. Cedar Park bounced back in the second. Halftime. Cedar Park leads 21-17 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Halftime of a Rock'em Sock'em 5A Division II state championship game with Cedar Park leading Ennis 21-17. We expected this football game to be very close. I don't know, Shea Walker, if we expected it to unfold quite the way it has with Ennis dominating the first quarter, scoring the game's first 17 points, and then Cedar Park coming back with 21 unanswered.
Well, it really was a game of a half, if you will, of momentum changes, and it was really kind of weird. I mean, Ennis started out doing anything they wanted to do and everything they wanted to do offensively. And then they kind of got into a rhythm where they had a couple of false start penalties and kind of just stymied the offense and slowed it down a little bit. And Cedar Park defensively, where they were hurting in the first quarter, came back, played pretty well, but offensively really got on track.
It started with Ennis having all the momentum and the points in the first quarter and doing it through the air.
Well, they really did a nice job here, and Dante Thompson goes up and just makes an outstanding catch. Another beautiful throw there by Devin Smith, and coming downhill, he finds another wide receiver all behind the secondary, and that was a little bit of a formation shift, and it kind of fooled that Cedar Park defense.
And a controversial call on that first down measurement. It looked like Ennis had made a stop. The officials at first seemed to indicate that, and then the Dallas chapter said, no, first down Cedar Park. And the Timberwolves take full advantage.
Well, they certainly did. On the ensuing play, David Fiala comes up with an outstanding grab in the end zone for a touchdown, and really from a momentum shift and change. And then Thomas Hutchings on this great run down. He hits it up in the middle of the field, bounces out to the right, and it's see you later.
So Cedar Park with 21 unanswered points. And we take a look at the first half statistics from this, presented by Ford. Ennis with some of the statistical edge, certainly in the total yards of the first quarter. But look at that second quarter. What a difference there. And Ennis with the time of possession, but the yards per play very close.
Well, it is, Greg. But really stands out of those 9 penalties with Ennis. I mean, you just can't do that in a championship game.
All right, let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Brooke Bentley with Ennis head coach Jack Alvarez.
Coach, a big momentum shift in the second quarter. How does your team regain momentum in the second half?
We got to settle down and play our game. Got a good plan. Kids, we just got to pull together and make sure we're not jumping off sides. I know it sounds silly, but that's killed us, kept us in second longs. And defensively keep making plays. We're doing a good job tackling. They had 2 big plays. Other than that, we've stoned them pretty good. So we just got to keep playing.
I was going to ask you, defensively, what adjustments do you specifically want to make to really get their offense off balance?
Well, I'd like not to let them have those 2 big plays they got. But other than that, we've done a pretty good job of stopping them. We just got to keep playing. We got, kids got to keep their heads up, and not let the momentum catch them. And we got to do something. We got to make a move somehow or another. I told the kids, I said, y'all got to take charge of this game, and you'll get what you want.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Craig, back to you.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Jack Alvarez, pretty composed about things. Shea Walker, not so much at the time that those plays unfolded in the controversial call, was very unhappy about that. Also thought that his team had a fumble recovery. Hear the conversation going on right now among the Lion players. But Ennis down 4 after being up 17. Will try to overtake Cedar Park for the second half. Resume.
It's for you, Santa.
Well, hello, Adam.
Here's the thing. What I really need is a built for...
Amir Alzer and the Cedar Park Timberwolves, who were down 17-0, have bolted back with 21 unanswered to take a 21-17 lead on the Ennis Lions. Ennis scored on its first drive on a field goal to go up 3-0, and then on the second drive, cap against Shea Walker with quite a pass to Dante Thompson.
Well, look on the left side of your screen where Dante Thompson, the 6'6" receiver, goes out. He had been lining up on the right side of the formation, Craig. He comes all the way to the left on this particular one where he's got man coverage. Nice job of running down the field and getting a release. Sees he's got man-to-man, and as he takes off the line of scrimmage, sets it up beautifully, and then an outstanding throw by Devin Smith. See the arc on the ball, and take a look right there where the ball gets high pointed. It is on the outside shoulder, up and away from the defender, where only the big 6'6" receiver could go get it.
Cedar Park the kickoff to start the second half. Now ready to put his leg into it is Storm Jensen, and fielded by D. Wilson, who had the 60-yard catch for a touchdown, but this time the Timberwolves all over Wilson. They drop him shy of the 20-yard line. Ennis back on the attack offensively. The Black Rain defense was torched in the first quarter, but extinguished the fire of Ennis in quarter number 2.
When you heard Coach Alvarez tell Brooke Bentley, Craig, that the false start penalties, and he wasn't not making excuses, he said, but we can't keep putting ourselves in second and long and having mental mistakes.
First down.
Thomas Hutchings.
And down as the man they call Tahoe comes in with a sack, dropping Devin Smith, and we're seeing Thomas Hutchings just take over at times this football game.
Yeah, take another look there. He's just so incredibly quick off the cut. He's coming out that linebacker spot, and he just dials in right on Devin Smith. He sees a gap, shoots the gap. Speed and quickness. He's able to drag Devin Smith down for a major loss.
Loss of 8 yards, but now Taylor Thompson taking up, then fumbled the football and got a fortuitous bounce and went out of bounds. And forward for that matter.
It looks like it's being marked right now. It's first down yardage. How about the block right there by Devin Smith, your starting quarterback?
End result of that play is 19 yards and a first down for Ennis.
Now they're going to remark it here.
Yep, from where the ball came out. So it'll be a 13-yard pickup, and it'll bring up third down and 5 for the Lions. Opening series, third quarter. And Ennis did a good job converting first downs in the first quarter, but not in the second. On third down and 5, Smith on the run and caught by Dante Thompson, a first down. Boy, Devin Smith was running out of room on the sideline, Shea, when he found Thompson for a gain of 11 and a first down.
Well, and it's really impressive that Dante Thompson could kind of keep his body in check and not carry himself out of bounds. Take another look. As he comes out, he's crossing over right from the middle there. Does a good job of securing the ball for the first down.
First and 10. Smith with time to throw now. And again, Thompson on the receiving end, the catch. And a gain of 9. You get the feeling there's been a concerted effort to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and Dante Thompson is as much a playmaker as any of them.
Well, he really is. And Devin Smith seemingly getting more comfortable and a little bit more rhythm throwing the ball downfield.
Now to Taylor Thompson on the carry. That's actually Trey Elliott on the carry, and Elliott picks up 9 more and a first down. And Ennis on the move like the Lions did in the first quarter.
Well, you see the lineman getting downfield, getting up there. That was Devin Collins leading the way there. When that lineman pulls and gets up in front, the running back, either Elliott or Taylor Thompson, makes a big difference.
Now Smith hits and goes down. He did pick up 2 yards. Augustine Tombe and Mac McCaskill, the tackle for Cedar Park.
Tombe is a very active linebacker, maybe just a tad overshadowed just by the outstanding play by Thomas Hutchings, but he's in on a lot of plays.
Second down and 8 from the Timberwolf 45. Opening series, third quarter, and Ennis on the move. To Taylor Thompson. Big block, big hole, first down. Gain of 10.
The right side of the offensive line doing an outstanding job again, and the patience of Taylor Thompson. He gets up a little bit hobbled, Craig, but take another look here. You're going to get the wall off and the wall off. Down blocking. Wide receiver comes in and gives you a little bit of help, and Thomas Hutchings is not able to track Taylor Thompson down until he is 8-9 yards down the field.
First and 10 for the Lions. Smith back to the air. Looking for Dante Thompson, intercepted. What a play made by Jav Guidry. Sealed it off, pulled it down, and Cedar Park takes over inside the Timberwolf 5-yard line.
Played beautifully there by Jav Guidry. Used the boundary as a little bit of help and just made sure that he stayed in front of Dante Thompson. You see right there, Thompson maybe has a chance at it. Jav Guidry pulls it down. That is an outstanding interception. Great defensive play right there. And heads up, really the body, the control of the body and the position that Jav Guidry held on the bigger receiver. Fought for the ball and comes up with a big pick.
Cedar Park will start at its own 2-yard line now. First possession for the Timberwolves here in the third quarter. A handoff, Chris Hutchings breaking through. And Hutchings will have a first down. Out to the 17-yard line. DeAndre Flowers finally brought it down. That's a pickup of 15 yards for Chris Hutchings.
Boy, a really nice run when you need to get one and get off the goal line. Chris Hutchings did a great job of battling through a couple of arm tackles.
Now Thomas Hutchings. First one, Hutchings did another, and Thomas picks up 3 to the 20. James Lockhart on the tackle for the Lions. Hutchings brothers continue to alternate. Second down for the Timberwolves. Chris Hutchings behind the quarterback, Amir Alzer. It's Chris Hutchings breaking through again. And another first down for Cedar Park to the 29-yard line, a gain of 9. Logan Lipscomb the tackle for Ennis.
Going fast is what they like to do. Amir Alzer right now, he's getting in a good rhythm. Getting him into the right types of plays.
Thomas Hutchings back on the field as the Hutchings brothers alternate. Here's Thomas. Flag down, a second flag, and then Hutchings brought down beyond the 35. 2 flags were thrown. I don't know if it was for the same foul, but we're about to find out.
Holding. Offense number 54. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Nathan Sullivan, the right tackle, called for the hold. It happens right there.
Yeah, couldn't see the number because the jersey got pulled all the way around to the front. Let's get the hands a little bit more inside.
First and 20 back at the 19-yard line now. Thomas Hutchings this time hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Big play by the junior strong side linebacker, Jordan Webster.
Well, Webster does a great job of closing down because we've seen how dangerous Hutchings can be when he tries to bounce it out. It looked like he was kind of patiently going to the line, getting ready to take off, and just as he gets ready to take off, he's dropped by Jordan Webster.
Second down and 20. And now Alzer to go to the air. Downfield and intercepted. Picked off by Trey Edwards. Edwards with a block in front. Edwards inside the 20. And Ennis in great shape. A 32-yard return by the senior corner, Trey Edwards.
Jab Guidry did the job of intercepting Devin Smith for the Timberwolves. And now, Trey Edwards plays it beautifully. Comes right off the wide receiver, reads the eyes of the quarterback. And that's an outstanding return as well.
Lions set up with the Cedar Park 11. To Elliott. Inside the 10 and down to the 5.
Well, he was an eyelash, or I'm going to call it a shoelace away from walking into the end zone. He tried to cut that back, and as he did, just got tripped up.
Second and goal, Ennis at the Cedar Park 5-yard line. Nothing this time for Taylor Thompson. Mac McCaskill, the first to hit him for the Timberwolves.
Brendan Saletti was in there as well. Great defensive play. No gain on that at all.
Third and goal. I think third down and 4, excuse me. They could pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown. Third down and 4 from the 5-yard line. But Taylor Thompson will take it inside the 5. He's short of the first down by a yard.
What an effort defensively there by Elijah Guidry. I'm not quite sure how he got enough leverage to move Taylor Thompson off. But take another look here coming outside. You're going to see number 7 closing down and just the push, making sure that Taylor Thompson cannot get into the end zone. That was an outstanding defensive effort there by Elijah Guidry.
How about this now? Fourth down and a yard to go with the 2. Again, Ennis can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown, but they'll need at least 1 yard. Of course, if they pick up 2 yards, they're in the end zone. Smith Hands it off. Hurtling over the top and in for the score. Trey Elliott. And the Lions are back on top.
Well, they just got into the mano-a-mano right there. Trendon Roll and Chris Young on the left side of the offensive line. Clearing the way, and you see Taylor Thompson. What an unselfish guy he is. He's a lead blocker running right into the teeth of that Timberwolves defense. And Trey Elliott goes over the top.
The turnover cashed in by the Lions. Conversion puts Ennis up 3, 24, 21, just past the midway mark of the third quarter. Now this special message from Dairy Queen.
I'm here with Gene Brumbelow of Dairy Queen. And Gene, Dairy Queen's been such a great supporter of high school athletes for all these years. Why is that so important to DQ?
Well, Dairy Queen's been in Texas since 1947, 67 years, and we have 100 stores across this state. And we've made a lot of memories. And we live and breathe with these high schools and their successes and endeavors, and we're very proud of that.
Yeah, and now you've partnered with Fox Sports Southwest and the UIL to put these games on TV. It seems like a perfect match.
Yes, it is, and we start early in the season with our Fox Sports DQ Big Game of the Week, and it's been going on for 12 years, and it's featured a lot of great games over many years, so we're again, extremely proud to be associated with Fox Sports.
Yeah, 600 stores you mentioned. DQ really is the stop sign of Texas, isn't it?
Yes, we are.
Front, some life infused back into the Lions after the turnover.
Well, take a look at this interception. After Jab Gidry turned it over for the T-Wolves.
Has more on the tower going up in place of an old building.
Jab Gidry turned. Trey Edwards is going to come up with a big pick. Here he is right here on the bottom of your screen. Does a great job. His eyes locked in on the quarterback. He's looking right down the barrel. Does a great job of doing that. Amir Alzir threw the ball, trying to lead the wide receiver just a little bit. Trey Edwards cuts in front with that interception, and game of momentum shifts, game of big plays. As Trey Elliott puts that touchdown on the board for the Ennis Lions. In the lead.
And up the sideline, breaking free, is Eric Kosaric. And Kosaric will put Cedar Park in excellent field position, a 33-yard return off the short kickoff.
Well, a very heads-up play there by Kosaric. Takes the kick, pops it out to the outside, gets to the boundary. Nobody there to defend it. Got ran out of bounds there by Trey Edwards.
And the T-Wolves set up shop at the 31-yard line of Ennis. Chris Hutchings in the backfield with Amir Alzir. And it's Chris Hutchings burrowing ahead for a few yards. Just a couple. James Lockhart, the tackle for Ennis.
Drake Powell in there in the bottom of the pile, 6'2", 300-pounder, clogging things up.
Inside screen, but that doesn't work as it was going to Jack Grimm, and Grimm is brought down by Trey Edwards. There was a flag down, however.
Edwards fought through the block, got off the block, and was able to come up with the tackle.
Holding. Offense number 15. 10 yards from the spot of the previous spot. Second down.
Well, I was about to mention, Shay, that Cedar Park had started to move the football. And there you see the hold right there on Davis Fiala.
Well, and then he lets go at the end, and that's when Trey Edwards comes up and is able to make the tackle on Jack Grimm. But all for naught as a penalty, moves it back 10 yards.
Second down, and then nothing going there at all for Thomas Hutchings. A loss of 2, and all of a sudden it's third down and 20.
Yeah, Jordan Webster. We've called his name a couple of times in this third quarter already. Getting penetration deep in the backfield of the Timberwolves.
Third down and 20 for the Timberwolves. Alzer The throw, moving downfield is Cheatham, but well short of the first down. It's a gain of 10, and it brings up 4th down and 10. Keandre Flowers with the tackle for Ennis. Now it's 4th down and 10 coming up for Cedar Park. Fourth down, and Cedar Park going to go for it on 4th and 9. Down the middle, and caught, and touchdown, Cedar Park. Jack Grimm. The Grim Reaper strikes again for the Timberwolves.
We have seen more 4th down plays in the last couple of days. And I can imagine, but take another look right here. He's going to just use that big frame. He is a 6'3", 200-pound receiver. Gets inside the smaller defenders, uses the body to shield them off. And a perfect throw by Amir Alzer on 4th and 10.
For the extra point. And it puts Cedar Park back up 4. 4:13 to go third quarter. Ennis turn on offense when we come back. Cedar Park with the Grimm touchdown catch and a 28-24 lead. Grimm and the Grimm family has more than held up its end of the bargain for Cedar Park this year and in prior years. With Nate, the former quarterback, and Jack, the 30-yard touchdown catch. T-Wolves back in front, 28-24, as we approach the late stages of the third quarter. And a booming kick in the end zone, and bringing it out is Devin Smith. Smith across the 25. Nice return, considering he fielded that over his shoulder going into the end zone. And Ennis will start from there. In fact, Smith went about 3-4 yards deep in the end zone, fielding it over his shoulder before he brought it out to the 29-yard line. So let's see if the Lions can get another drive going. Capitalized on the Cedar Park turnover earlier to the ground, and here goes Elliott, or rather Thompson. And Taylor Thompson needs only one play to take it the distance. Just like that, the Lions reclaim the lead.
Taylor Thompson. What a play. And it's just a simple handoff, and the blocking again beautiful. Chris Young pulling around the left side, seals off the edge. Taylor Thompson cuts it up right in the middle, and I'm going to say he went in untouched.
The extra point kick is good. Taylor Thompson now up to 169 yards on 16 carries, including that 71-yard touchdown run. For more on Taylor Thompson, let's go down to the sidelines to our Brooke Bentley.
Craig, before Taylor went out on the field, he was sitting on the bench for quite some time with an oxygen mask on. Yes, he was taking in oxygen. He hadn't scored a touchdown before. He'd been the lead blocker, but that had gassed him. He certainly needed the oxygen on that touchdown run. Guys, back to you.
All right, Brooke, thanks. Explosive run of a senior running back, Taylor Thompson, to put Ennis back in front in a ball game we figured would be locked like this, back and forth, punch, counter punch.
Well, punch, counter punch. I'm saying haymaker, haymaker, because these plays that are coming at 30-yard touchdown to Grimm on 4th and 10, and then the answer back is on the first play with Taylor Thompson taking it all the way to the house. There's a man who gave him that nice clearing block right there, Chris Young. He sealed off the pursuit from the outside. That's right, where Taylor Thompson cut it up right behind him, and smooth sailing all the way into the end zone.
No doubt. The kickoff. Fielded by Guidry at the 19-yard line. Elisha Guidry across the 30. Popped hard as he nears the 40-yard line. Still a lot of football left to be played here at 59 total points scored so far. Cedar Park will begin from its own 38. Thomas Hutchings will be in the backfield. Back to Thomas Hutchings. Jake Keene on the tackle. Hutchings over 100 yards rushing tonight, 11 carries for 123 yards, including a 75-yard touchdown run. Second down and 5 for the T-Wolves. Pass was tipped and intercepted. Trey Edwards strikes again. Edwards on the tip drill pick, his second of the night.
Amir Alzer wings the ball out quickly, and I believe it skips off of Miles Cheatham right into the waiting arms of Trey Edwards, and what a great job the cornerback locking on. Boy, just a little bit too much juice on it for Miles Cheatham to handle. Edwards cutting back in front of his receiver, playing that tight man coverage, comes up with another interception.
All the momentum is shifted back the way of the Lions now. After the Jack Grimm touchdown, thank you. The Lions come back, the 71-yard touchdown run, and now off a turnover. Here's Smith with a lot of running room. Smith, one man to beat. Lost the football. Cedar Park has it right back.
He needed a block by his wide receiver, and actually Trey Elliott was down there. And as Devin Smith cuts it back in the middle of the field, he takes a wicked shot, and he is dislodged from the ball, and the Timberwolves have it. Taking a look, he's going to cut it back toward the middle of the field. You see that backside hit right there. Nice job by Tyler Levine pursuing, and then we talked about him earlier. Tombe comes up with a big play on that recovery. Looks like Jav Guidry was the guy who actually jarred the ball loose.
Cedar Park has it back, albeit deep in their end of the field, back at the Timberwolf 13-yard line. Keeping is Alzer to the 16-yard line to pick up 3 yards. Drake Keene on the tackle. See the anguish of the moment.
Well, you know, because he had just really made an outstanding play as he outran the coverage to break it out wide to get to the sideline as he was breaking it back across the middle of the field to get stripped by Jav Guidry.
Second down and 7. Chris Hutchings turning it into the alley, still on his feet.
Well, that's an impressive run right there, and it will be, I'm going to say enough for a first down, but I'm not sure now.
Taylor Thompson on the defensive side making the tackle, and it is enough. A first down for Cedar Park.
And Coach Alvarez letting Devin Smith know that it's all right.
Back to Chris Hutchings again. The Hutchings brothers have accounted for nearly 200 yards on the ground. 4 yards on that carry.
And they're physical guys, both of them. They run the ball right in the middle, but the breakaway speed that we saw earlier on that 75-yarder by Thomas Hutchings, but Chris Hutchings, when he bounces it out wide, he's got a little pop as well.
Brother Thomas back in the backfield for Cedar Park, and he'll draw the carry. No, it'll be Alzer. The zone read keeper. Oh, my goodness, was he hit hard at the 30-yard line. And Amir Alzer a little slow to get up. Trey Edwards hitting him really hard.
Take another look. He's going to be kind of sliding down as he's going to get hit initially, and then Edwards right there. See the helmet pop off.
The first blow delivered by Jake Turner, and then Trey Edwards. Third down and 4 for the Timberwolves.
Yep. Alzer back behind center.
And Thomas Hutchings behind him. Hutchings upfield and short of the first down. Taylor Thompson, the open field tackle, and it brings up 4th down, and I believe a yard needed, maybe 2 for the first. Yep, looks like 2 yards needed for the first, and Cedar Park will punt.
Well, Taylor Thompson, talking about these two-way players now, and both teams have an amazing amount of incredible talent that are playing both sides. Taylor Thompson, the running back, comes up off his safety spot and is able to spill Hutchings before he can pick up a first down. And, oh, you see the deep men for Ennis now coming up. No one deep for the Lions.
Looking for the fake. That doesn't happen. And so this punt will take off. And it'll roll all the way down to the 27-yard line. That's 43 yards on the punt without a return. Well, Cedar Park has these all-white uniforms. They're brand new ones this year. And Coach Joe Willis says they're, well, they call them the Stormtrooper uniforms, really. He said, we like the thought of going to AT&T Stadium. We liken it to the Death Star.
Oh, I like that.
So there's your Stormtrooper look.
I like that.
As the Timberwolves and the Stormtrooper outfits invade the Death Star for the 5A Division II state championship.
That's beautiful.
The Empire of Ennis, however, has struck back here in the third quarter to reclaim the lead. From the Lion 27. And Smith back the opposite way and turn in the corner. There's a flag down. Smith will take this 73 yards to the end zone. However, it's coming back. And Jay, I think the hold or illegal block is what sprung the play for Smith to go 73 yards.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10 yards. First down.
Watch for the left guard, Chris Young.
Well, Chris Young has just done an outstanding job all game, and he definitely has a handful of jersey right there. And that's what allows, as you said, Devin Smith to turn the corner.
He escaped Augustine Tambe there, and that's why it became a 73-yard touchdown. So when folks say, well, a touchdown was wiped out by a holding penalty, the touchdown probably doesn't happen without the holding call, without the penalty. So it's back to the 19-yard line for Ennis. Smith. Thompson lost the ball, hit really hard right as the ball came in. Popped pretty hard behind. And there's a flag down as well.
Encroachment. Defense, number 43. 5 yards. Replay, first down.
And that's Thomas Hutchings.
Yeah, we saw him trying to jump up there like he's been shooting the gap a couple of times early. Got caught in the neutral zone.
Right there.
Trying to time the snap, and that's a heads-up play by Thomas Hutchings, because he has had success getting good penetration and beating the linemen as they're trying to pull out, shooting the gap, but he got caught on that one. 5-yard penalty.
Becomes first down and 13 now, and then on the run is Thompson. Good run by Thompson on the final play of the third quarter, a gain of 11, and Ennis will face second down and 2 when we come back for the final 12 minutes of Class 5A football in 2014. What a ball game, the 5A Division II state championship with Ennis leading Cedar Park 31-28. To begin the fourth quarter, look at that comparison of these two running backs. Thomas Hutchings has had an excellent game, and Taylor Thompson has been tremendous for Ennis, each with a touchdown, and the Lions with the lead going into this fourth quarter.
And both guys, Craig, contributing defensively for their teams.
So now on third down and 2, Smith under pressure and dropped. Up from the bottom of the pile is Chris Best, and it's fourth down.
Well, a nice swarming defensive effort there. Devin Smith looked like he might have had the chance or an opportunity to sneak that ball upfield, but good discipline, lane assignment. Tambe, leader of the pack right there, tracking Devin Smith down.
Fourth down, excuse me, 3rd and 5 from the 32-yard line. And now, Smith under center. Trying to gain the edge, and does. Has the first down, managed to turn the corner, and a pickup of the necessary yardage for the first down.
Well, by just a very slightest of margins does he get it. He's getting tracked down by Clay Bremer, but he's got good speed. Devin Smith on the edge right here. See Bremer chasing him in. Also, guess who? Thomas Hutchings. Right on the heels, but not before Devin Smith is able to pick up the first down.
Big first down for the Lions. With the 3-point lead here in the final quarter.
Not set. Wide receiver was in motion. Destin Johnson, number 8.
False start. Offense number 8. 5 yards. First down.
11th penalty of the ball game, Jay. First down at 15, back to the 32, and there you see the fouls Jack Alvarez talked about at halftime. So need to stay away from those, and they had, for the most part, in the second half until then. So now it's first and 15 back at the 32.
Looked like just for a moment Jack Alvarez wanted to use a timeout. However, he decided against it. 7 ticks on the play clock, and no room for Taylor Thompson.
And then after handing it, Jake Barber drops Thompson. It's a gain of a yard. One thing you have to commend Ennis for is they continue to bounce back from double-digit yardage needed situations, and they're dealing with another one right now.
Yes, they are. They put themselves in some tough spots. They've been able to work their way out of them on occasion, but you're going against a very good defense. It just makes it really tough.
The toss to Elliott. And Elliott started to break free. Tombe ran him down from behind. Only a gain of a yard. It's safe to say the most important third down of the football game is coming up for both sides.
Well, it looks like Jacob Hines, number 20, comes up and makes a very nice play off that safety spot. You can see him just squaring up on Trey Elliott. Good open field tackle there, and making sure that it stays at 3rd and long. 3rd with 13 yards to go.
Third down at 13.
So wide if you can find
Smith to keep it. Timberwolves ready for it. Mac McCaskill the tackle, and it's 4th down, and the Lions will have to punt.
And Kosaric also was in on that play. Take another look. You can see number 21 White as he comes up. He's getting blocked by one of the offensive linemen, but he just kind of causes a train wreck, and you just want to get bodies down in front of the runners. It's a way. Nice job for Kosaric to go in there and sell out, make sure that he took a blocker out so the rest of the defense could bring Devin Smith down.
Mark Neck will punt for Ennis. Backpedaling. Get it at the 30-yard line as Jav Guidry able to push it up for about 3 yards.
Well, good special teams plays there by Destin Johnson, getting downfield to make a sure tackle.
Oh, we told you about the marvelous day earlier. Gilmer with a big comeback to defeat West Orange Dark. How about game number 2? A minute left, down 28-21. Shelton Epler sneaks into the end zone, into overtime. Nick Ralston, one of his 3 rushing touchdowns. He carried it 54 times in the game. Rattlers down to the last chance. And Tredavian Dixon the catch to keep them alive, and then scoring in the second overtime, and then stopped was Ralston as Navasota wins its 2nd state title in 3 years. What an incredible football game. 40-yard carry on first down for Thomas Hutchings. Brings up 2nd and 6. This place still buzzing about that double overtime thriller.
Well, and they should be. And congratulations to Coach Fedor and his staff there for the Rattlers.
Second down and 6. Hauser caught. Pass to the tight end Cheatham.
Well, Taylor Thompson comes up with the hit, and he is way overmatched in this battle. You see he's getting up a little gingerly.
6 yards and a first down. Hauser looking to throw again. Over the middle. Big hit. And was that ruled incomplete?
As Flowers.
Yes. And a flag comes in as well, as Tommy Levine was really hit hard by Keidre Flowers. Now the official's going to discuss this. Was there possession of the football? This Dallas chapter of the Texas Association of Sports Officials has had some difficult decisions to make tonight, and some not without controversy.
We had an incomplete pass. You got helmet-to-helmet contact on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Another look. And Levine not with it long enough. There's the helmet-to-helmet as Levine goes down.
Taylor Thompson now getting stretched out. He was sitting down on the field while the officials were meeting. Obviously, he's cramped up there.
He's had a whale of a night. It's trying to keep it going. Levine appears to be all right. Boy, did he take a pop over the middle. And the interesting thing about that call, Shay, is even if it had been ruled a fumble, it would have been nullified due to the helmet-to-helmet hit.
Well, and now the ball, of course, going to be moved downfield 15 yards on that penalty. Good to see Taylor Thompson working on the hydration.
Late 05 to go in the ball game, and a 15-yard walk-off has taken the ball to the Ennis 43-yard line. First and 10 for Cedar Park. Thomas Hutchings back in the backfield. It is Hutchings. Trying to fight through, and will settle for about 3.
Picks up 3, but he makes Flowers miss in the backfield. And Keidre Flowers had read that play very well for Ennis. But the elusiveness of Thomas Hutchings escapes him in the backfield and is able to pick up positive yards. It could have been very easily a negative play.
At the 40-yard line on second down. Sweeping around is Hutchings again, but trouble again.
James Lockhart reaching out. Catches Hutchings by the shoulders, brings him down.
Not only that, Thomas Hutchings loses his helmet here, and he'll have to be out for a play.
Well, that is just a great effort by your defensive end right there. 6'3", 230-pound senior, laying out, making a play.
While Thomas Hutchings reattaches the helmet, brother Chris will take his place in the Cedar Park backfield. 3rd down and 8 for the T-Wolves. Pass for the tight end, Cheatham. Short of the first down. Nelson, the tackle, very close to the mark, but it's still 4th down.
A very nice throw right there by Amir Alzer. He put it on the backside of his big tight end, Miles Cheatham. Only Miles had a chance to catch that ball, and he did, and now it's 4th and a couple of yards.
4th down, and a long yard needed. Cedar Park's going to take a timeout. Good time to take one on what is quite possibly your biggest down of the season. Ennis by 3. State Farm. Visit texas.statefarm.com to get to a better state. By DQ, the stop sign of Texas. For the best tasting treats, eats, and drinks in Texas, stop at DQ. And by Ford. The Dream Big sales event is going on now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Out of the Cedar Park timeout. 4th down and 1 for the Timberwolves at the Ennis Lion 34. Alzer. Handoff. 1st down, Chris Hutchings.
A good run right there. And the lead blocker on that play, Thomas Hutchings.
Brother blocking for brother.
Clearing the path. There's Thomas Hutchings right there. Getting upfield, sealing off that wall, and Brother Chris picks up the first down.
And now it's Thomas' turn, but a flag comes down as Thomas Hutchings would have 5 yards. Let's check the flag. This might be a face mask.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10 yards. First down.
That's going to be called on the center, Alex Cedar. It's a tangle of bodies, and his one arm went up. A hold on Cedar. Grab the jersey, and it's a loss of 10.
Well, nice job by Drake Powell. That big 6'2", 300-pound frame trying to shake free of the hold. And you see that effort of extending and trying to get to the ball carrier. That's what drew the flag. Good job defensively there by Drake Powell.
First and 20 back at the 41. To the ground again. On his feet, dodging his way around tacklers, Thomas Hutchings. What a run by Hutchings. Keandre Flowers prevented what would have been a touchdown. They needed 20. They get 20.
He just keeps bouncing about, making sure guys miss. A kind of little swivel and a swerve.
Looks like he's doing the downhill.
I was going to say, hitting the moguls. Downhill skiing, but now Ennis line is down on the 40-yard line.
It's Brian Nelson, the linebacker, and Hutchings has combined for over 200 yards tonight.
Of course, Thomas with that 75-yard run puts his numbers up just a little bit higher, but both have been very effective today.
Down to the 21-yard line. Was enough for the first down. And Brian Nelson is up. Good to see that. Here's what happened. Art Spill trying to tackle Thomas Hutchings. Half of this final quarter left. Cedar Park for the first down at the Ennis 21. Chris Hutchings back on for the Timberwolves. And it's Chris Hutchings, but only for a couple to the 19-yard line. Drake Kane the tackle.
Good job defensively. Logan Lipscomb getting up off the bottom of that pile again, coming up off the safety spot. Not just forcing the run back inside, but actually getting in on the tackle. Nice job there by Lipscomb.
Second down and 8. Hand it this time to Jack Grimm, and Grimm in a world of trouble. Brought down.
What a play by Taylor Thompson.
Is he having a whale of a game on both sides of the football?
My goodness, Craig, the way that he comes up off that safety spot, take another look. He's just going to shoot the gap, coming right downhill. Sees the runner, and that is an outstanding form tackle on a big 6'3", 200-pound running back.
Third down and 10. Alzer looking for Grimm. Can't come up with it. And Taylor Thompson, another huge play for the Ennis Lions.
And this is the young man who was getting hydrated and stretched out for cramps just a couple of plays ago back in the game, and now he's come up twice with 2 huge plays. Jack Grimm, nice job of using the body, getting in front of the defender, or excuse me, yeah, in front of the defenders, just not able to come down with the catch because Taylor Thompson climbs up over the top, slaps it out of his hands.
Cedar Park's going to go for it. 4th and 10 at the 21. They're 3 out of 4 on 4th down tonight.
Well, they did this before in the 30-yard touchdown to Grimm.
Going there to Grimm, and a score. It's Fiala on the catch. Davis Fiala got behind the defense. Fiala and Grimm in the back of the end zone, and it's Fiala who pulls it down. Jack Grimm, one of the first to congratulate him, and Cedar Park regains the lead.
Well, Davis Fiala has had 2 monster catches in this game, and then for the second time tonight, the Timberwolves convert on 4th and 10 with touchdown tosses from Amir Alzer. first one to Jack Grimm, and that one to Davis Fiala.
The kick is good. A 4-point lead for the Timberwolves, 4:48 to go.
Fiala's the outside receiver on the twin set to the wide side of the field. Just gets in between the secondary, almost forgotten. Putting pressure on the defense. What a nice, calm, cool throw from Amir Alzer. Knowing that you've got your wide receiver pretty much alone, and all you've got to do is get the ball to him. And he did a nice job staying calm and cool and dropped it in there perfectly.
Now there is plenty of time for Ennis. Plenty of time for the Lions. 4:48, and they have all 3 of their timeouts. They will to win this game, down 4 points with 4:48 to go. Well, there's some great high school games this weekend and great games last year, including the rematch in the 5A Division II state championship between the KD Tigers and the Cedar Hill Longhorns. A rematch of the 2012 game. The Longhorns were out for revenge. You see the rubber match tomorrow. Look at those numbers, almost identical.
Well, Rodney Anderson has just had a phenomenal career. Started as a freshman at Katy. Young man headed to Oklahoma, and Cedric Ware is kind of one of the bevy of backs, if you will, for Joey McGuire and the Longhorns.
Here's the kickoff. And back to the goal line is D. Wilson. Wilson trying to find his way through traffic and lost the ball. What's the ruling? Cedar Park recovery. Augustine Tombe.
And you see right now that Isaac Montemayor holding the ball. You're wondering, how can you give the ball? Look, he's holding the ball. The official finally takes it from him.
Ball came loose. The question is Wilson on another player, or is he on the turf when the ball pops out? Cedar Park has the recovery at the 29-yard line. Now time really of the essence with 4:40 to go. Back to the ground. That's Thomas Hutchings. Wilson. See falling on top of one of the Timberwolves, and the ball pops out. He is not on the ground.
Well, in the mad rush and the scramble, you never know what happens on the bottom of the pile. But the young man who came away with the ball and had possession clearly was Isaac or Tombe for Cedar Park. But the Ennis Lions staked the claim to that football as well.
2nd and 10. And Alzer, the keeper, knocked down at the 26 by Keandre Flowers. 3rd down. The important thing for Ennis here is to get a stop. Not allow Cedar Park to convert this on 3rd down, because then they're able to run down the clock, and then the Lions would be forced to use timeouts.
We almost feel on this 3rd and 7 that it's still 2-down territory, because we've seen them go for it multiple times. How many 4th downs have they gone for Cedar Park in this game? At least 4.
They're 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. There you go.
2 of which they converted into touchdowns. Churning straight ahead, but short of the 1st down.
Flowers there with a nice stop up front with the physical tackle.
And the Lions do use their first timeout after Hutchings picked up 4 yards. Thomas Hutchings tonight, 155 yards on 18 carries and the 75-yard touchdown. 27,214 on hand to see this one tonight. We'll have huge crowds tomorrow. Possibility of even record-setting crowds. Last year's record, 54,000 plus for Allen and Pearland.
You kind of opened the show yesterday morning at the clock with the theme of 3. That's the 3rd game. third straight title matchup between the Cedar Hill Longhorns and the Katy Tigers. And then Allen pursuing a three-peat.
And 3 games tomorrow. 5A Division I state championship. Top-ranked Toledo against Temple. Gets it started at noon. 4th down and 4 for Cedar Park, and now Joe Willis will call a timeout. Checking out the Ennis defense. Coach Willis taking the timeout here, having seen how the Lions were lining up. As we mentioned, the triple header begins tomorrow at noon. Aledo, Temple. What a great ball game. That should be to start it off. All 3. Cedar Hill and Katy meeting for the 3rd straight year in the 6A Division II state championship game at 4 o'clock. And to finalize the theme of 3, Allen looking for the 3-peat. The Eagles taking on one of the great stories across the state of Texas this year, the Mustangs and Siren.
You bet. That is a fantastic story. You talk about difficult districts, a 9-team district, but you get one warm-up game, and then it's district play all the way through.
Gene Johnson did a marvelous job with that ball club to get them not only into the playoffs, but get them on a roll where they believe they could come from behind and beat anybody.
And they've got an outstanding quarterback who is equally adept at throwing the ball as he is running.
Colin Rock is his name. That's tomorrow night. All right, on 4th down for Cedar Park, out of the timeout. 4th and 4 for the T-Wolves. Keeping straight ahead, and enough for the 1st down is Amir Alzer.
Well, there's a lot of motion and a lot of shifting around, if you will, by the T-Wolves. Amir Alzer gets great blocking, and he knows he's not trying to make the big play, Craig. He's just trying to get enough yardage for the 1st down, and he does that.
All that motion and shifting, and then it just came down to Alzer keeping the football. So it's down to the 17-yard line, and the clock will move, and Ennis down to 2 timeouts. To the ground. Thomas Hutchings on the carry, and 2nd timeout. 2nd timeout called, and there's a flag down for a false start.
1st down.
So becomes 1st down and 15. So Ennis does not have to use that 2nd timeout. So Timberwolves will move back. To keep again, almost lost the football. And then inside the 15, close call to the senior quarterback, but holds on to it for a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, pretty shifty. Take another look. Just change the ball around. He gets stripped, pops up. He's able to field it cleanly, or hang on to it, if you will, from a possession standpoint. Picks up about 7 yards on that run after the penalty. Now 2nd and 8.
From the 15. To the ground, Chris Hutchings this time, and now Ennis will use one of its 2 remaining timeouts.
Defense.
It leaves the Lions with 1, and knowing they have to come up with a 3rd down stop. Jack Alvarez just trying to get his guys motivated to make one more stop.
No, Cedar Park. I don't think being in 3rd and long or 3rd and 6 actually bothers them all that much, certainly at this point on the field.
Well, Shea, 2 years ago, Cedar Park made its first appearance in a state championship game. It was Joe Willis's first year as coach, and there were some similarities between that game and this one, because Lancaster scored first and Cedar Park would fall behind. DeMarcus Ayers on the touchdown run there. This was certainly much more of a defensive battle. Ethan Fry with a 1-yard run to tie the score. Then in the fourth quarter, leading 10-7, Cedar Park put the game in the hands of tailback Michael Wilson. He'll break through and crash into the end zone. And that was Cedar Park's only touchdown. Only touchdown in the second half. And their first ever state championship. Looking for a second down. On 3rd down and 6. Alzer with a toss. And forced out of bounds. Tommy Levine. That's a plus for Ennis.
Well, that pitch from Emery Alzer to Tommy Levine, it was destined to go out of bounds, and you saw the momentum. I don't know that Levine could really hold up much.
Well, it brings...
Good job of that defense, though, of stringing it out and pushing it and forcing that wide pitch.
Absolutely. It allowed Ennis to preserve a timeout, but they have to... Well, at least they've come up with a stop because Cedar Park is going to go for the field goal here, and that would make it a 7-point ball game. Giovanni Orduno for the field goal try, 28 yards, and Cedar Park will use its final timeout. Joe Willis wants to leave nothing to chance here. Want to make sure that his guys have everything set and in order if they are indeed going to go for the field goal. Tonight's DQ big play of the game, well, there were several, and they were turnovers, Shea.
Of all the big plays that we've seen, there were momentum shift, Tombe getting on top of the ball there, Jav Gidry coming up with a very nice interception. Did you see the strip there of Devin Smith as he loses the ball on a long run, and D. Wilson not able to hang on to the ball as well. And you go back to Trey Edwards for those Ennis Lions. He's got a couple of picks on the night.
Now Cedar Park facing a 4th and 4 at the 11-yard line. And will they go ahead and line up for the field goal? Giovanni Orduno. This will be a 27-yard try to put the Timberwolves up by 7. The kick off the upright. And so Ennis with life with 1:29 to go. And 1 timeout.
Well, the defense, which is really what you would call the calling card for the Timberwolves. Nice pressure there by Dante Thompson. 6'6" frame, leaping up right in the middle. You see he's kind of fired up after that play. Didn't get a hand on it, but maybe influenced the kick. And now the Lions taking the ball down the field. They need to get yardage in chunks.
One last shot for Ennis in 2014. Smith gonna run. And he'll immediately step out of bounds at the 26. Gain of about 6 yards. Maybe Smith cramping up a little bit as he heads back to the huddle. With 1:23 to go. Second down and 4 for the Lions.
Down here in this little bunch set. That circle right there is around Dante Thompson.
That's the direction. Now Smith looking back to his left and will run again. And has to step out of bounds. Has the first down. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A gain of 6 more. Down to 1:18 to play in the ballgame.
Well, good job by Chris Best. See Dante Thompson thinking he's got something, but there's 2 defenders there, and alertly Devin Smith moves it marginally upfield. Enough for the first down, but still a long way to go. 1:18. They've got time.
And a timeout.
The Timberwolves defense, though, as Chris Best chasing Devin Smith out of the pocket on that play. Getting pressure with the front 3 and being able to drop 7 or maybe even 8 guys into coverage.
From the 32. Pass caught by Dante Thompson. And it's short of the first down. Clock will run.
Nice open field tackle there to make sure Thompson does not pick up a first down to stop the clock.
It was an 8-yard gain, and so it's a spike of the football on 2nd and 2 with exactly 1 minute to play. Now 3rd down and 2 coming up for Ennis. That pass tipped by Jake Barber.
Yeah, great play there by Jake Barber, and fantastic concentration by Dante Thompson to come up with the grab.
Actually moved the football.
Backed it up a little bit.
Just a little bit from where it was. It's at the 39-yard line, so really needing 3 yards on 3rd down for the Lions. Smith will run for it. Collared, but at the marker. Will stop the clock and say it's enough for the first down to move the chains. Again, Ennis with 1 timeout.
I don't know that he can even, he was trying to stretch his calves out.
Smith take it in and keep it for the first down. Now the clock running. Smith again, now under pressure. Oh my goodness, what a big sack by Mac McCaskill. It forces the Lions to call their final timeout with 40 seconds to play.
Yeah, Devin Smith seems to be a little bit hindered, and even on that snap, Craig, he kind of fielded it on the left side of his body, and he did a 360. Take another look here. Turns his back to the defense, and Matt McCaskill cruises right on up Main Street, and they meet face to face as soon as Devin Smith turns back around.
Second down and 19. Trying to keep Devin Smith hydrated and uncramped here for another 40 seconds. And again, Ennis must score a touchdown. Field goal is of no use at this point.
Caleb Clark is the backup quarterback, 6'2", 170-pound junior. Not gotten a lot of snaps this year. Devin Smith has been the guy.
2nd and 19 for the Lions from their own 33.
Got to get something out of his hands quickly.
Smith deep downfield and incomplete. Looking for Thompson. And it brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, Cedar doing a nice job of keeping Dante Thompson in front of him. Even though they bumped down there, that was good coverage by Cedar. Take a look right down in the middle of the field. Ball just a touch overthrown, and Thompson looking for a flag. Did not get it now. 3rd and 18, 19.
36 seconds. And no timeouts remaining for Ennis.
Right now, you wonder about the mobility of Devin Smith. Can he run? Can he break containment, pick up a first down, or defense ever come back and get it?
Over the middle, and a little hook and ladder up the side is Taylor Thompson. Thompson forced out of bounds.
What a gutsy call.
32 yards. The quick hook and ladder and a first down for Ennis.
Oh, that was beautiful. Austin Lawrence, the tight end who has made a couple of grabs in the interior of the defense today, does it again. Trey Elliott out there leading the charge. And Taylor Thompson off that hook and ladder.
36-yard line of Cedar Park. 28 seconds to play in the game. Devin Smith up the sideline looking for Thompson. Caught it. Touchdown Ennis. Oh my goodness. Dante Thompson with 21 seconds to play in the game.
What a play. Dante Thompson, inside release on the defender. Back behind the safety, goes up over the head of Elijah Guidry. Catches the ball, and then has to fight off 2 tacklers, but he makes it into the end zone.
For the conversion. A 3-point Ennis lead, 21 seconds to go. And the Lions on the verge of a last-ditch thrilling come-from-behind win.
Oh, just beautifully executed. Get the ball out to your playmaker. We saw him make that 19-yard TD catch for the first Lions score. And this most assuredly will be the last Lions score of the game. Touchdown of the game, but there's still time on the clock. 21 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, Cedar Park gets that, kicks a field goal. We got overtime.
Did you say that we were thinking this game might live up to the billing as the first 2 did today?
When I looked at all 10 games going into this
You were
week,
locked in on Friday, weren't
that's
you?
the one game. Well, yes, and this game was the one that leaped off the page to me as the one that I thought had the potential perhaps to be the best game. Now,
barn burner game here.
I start saying, I don't know how you top what happened the game before, but this game stands on its own merits.
But just the ebb and the flow of this game and the momentum shifts and overcoming adversity, both of these teams. We're not done yet.
21 seconds. Now remember, Cedar Park used all of its timeouts, the final 2 timeouts, before missing the field goal that would have put them up by 7. And Ennis turned around and marched it 80 yards in 9 plays with 1 timeout at their disposal and did it in 68 seconds. And the big strike of 32 yards, or 36 yards on the touchdown to Dante Thompson. Guidry. And Elijah Guidry across the 30 to the 31. Ennis 15 seconds away from winning it. Cedar Park in need of a miracle.
And most of the plays that we have seen, Cedar Park, Amir Alzer finding receivers, Davis Fiala, Jack Grimm, both of those guys making big catches, but a lot of those catches that they've made, Craig, have been like more of the 15, 20-yard variety. And right now, as you said, with 15 ticks and no timeouts, you got to get big. And look who you've got back. You've got Dante Thompson, 30 yards off the line of scrimmage, playing center field.
Alzer, deep up the side, intercepted, picked off Devontae Edwards to seal the Ennis dream at a state title.
Well, it was an improbable position to be in for the Cedar Park Timberwolves. You had to try to get the ball downfield best you could, trying to find Jack Grimm, and Devontae Edwards steps in front of that for an interception to seal the deal for the Ennis Lions.
An amazing game on both sides tonight. One final snap. An amazing day of football here with 3 tremendous state championship games. Great celebrations tonight down in Ellis County. The Ennis Lions are 5A Division II state champions of Texas.
Well, this puts Ennis in fairly rare category. 21 teams, I believe it is, Craig, who have 5 or more state championships. Make it 23. The 5th state title for the Ennis Lions.
Heartbreaking loss for Cedar Park. The Timberwolves on the verge of winning it, but Dante Thompson with the catch, a 36-yard score, and Jack Alvarez has his first state championship as a head coach of the Ennis Lions.
Let's shake their hands, let's go!
absolutely amazing game and a truly amazing finish. Take a look at tonight's Ford player of the game. Who else could it be? But we'll tell you momentarily. I think you know who it probably is.
Tabulations is still going on right now.
Yeah.
It's down to the wire just as this game was.
Well, the Lions are state champions. And here's the pass to Dante Thompson. Tonight's Ford player of the game. With the game winner with 21 seconds to go.
Just a dominating performance by Dante Thompson when he had to make plays. Came in with 81 catches on the season and was fairly productive. That big body, big frame, even converted a couple of short third downs for first downs, but none bigger than that last catch with 21 seconds on the clock to put his team ahead.
Let's go down to the field. State championship head coach Jack Alvarez of Ennis with our Brooke Bentley.
Coach, your first title with Ennis, your first title as a coach. I just saw you wipe a tear. Describe your emotions.
Oh, it's unbelievable. That's it. They never quit believing. And, I mean, all I can say, it's all about those guys. They fought for each other all year long. We went the hard road, I promise you. We had the hard road all year long, and they never quit believing. They never quit fighting. I love them to death. I wish I could. I want to go wherever they're going.
I got to ask you about the hook and ladder call. What a gutsy call. What went into that?
Well, it was second and real long. We didn't have many choices. We worked on it all year long, and, you know, we called it win it. That was our play to win it. And we worked on it all year, and it was time to call it a win it play, and it worked. Sometimes you're lucky.
Taylor Thompson, what an outstanding effort on both sides of the ball.
He's been sick. He's been sick for 3 days. We Pedialyte him, everything else. He's a tough kid. He's a warrior. I can tell you, he can play for anybody's football team. He's a good football player and a great kid.
Coach, go enjoy. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not very good interview right now.
Greg, back to you.
Well,
that's a very good interview.
Yeah, he's enjoying the moment as well he should, and overcome with emotion, no doubt. Great question by Brooke to ask him about the hook and ladder, and I'm sure when she gets a hold of Dante Thompson, the question will be about the final route going down the sidelines and the play call to get into the end zone for the game-winning score.
Beautifully thrown ball by Devin Smith, but you had your big-time 6'6" receiver. Got behind the defense just a little bit. He goes up and catches the ball over the top of the defender, and then he still has to shake a couple of tackles to get into the end zone.
And did just that. His 7th catch of the night. It went for 99 yards total. And 2 touchdowns, none bigger than that one.
Well, and Devin Smith, what a game he had. And just executing the offense so incredibly well all game.
And as exhilarating as it is for Ennis, I'm sure that's how heartbreaking it is for Cedar Park, as the Timberwolves were on the verge. What a game from that guy, Thomas Hutchings, for them, and the T-Wolves so close to claiming that state crown. What a great job Joe Willis did with them. They were, remember, 4-3, and had dropped 2 district games, and Joe Willis said, the playoffs start now, fellas. Can't lose anymore. And they didn't until the last 21 seconds of tonight's game.
And I really like what he did when he started bringing guys in like Miles Cheatham, Jav Guidry, Thomas Hutchings over to the offensive side of the ball. And that's really where the Timberwolves season turned around.
All right, the guy with a game-winning catch, Dante Thompson, down with our Brooke Bentley.
All right, Dante, what was going through your mind after that game-winning catch you had?
Man, I just know I have to make a play for my team in order for us to win. And it's just a blessing that I was able to do that.
What kind of resiliency did your team show here tonight?
Oh, the heart of a lion. We never give up. You know, we've been battling. We've been having tough games all season long. You know, coming out and just telling your brother next to you that you ain't gonna never give up, and we got this.
Well, go enjoy with your teammates.
Thank you.
Craig, back to you.
Dante Thompson. Great grab. Great game. The Ennis Lions are state champions. We mentioned the heartbreak certainly for Thomas Hutchings and the Cedar Park Timberwolves. I'll tell you what, that's a guy who deserves an opportunity to play at the next level.
You know, you talk about undersized guys, and you'll know this very well, but Drew Brees out of Austin Westlake. He didn't get recruited by the major schools locally, but he goes off to Purdue and has an outstanding college career. Forget the pro career, right? Just think about what he did at the next level. Think of another guy like Terry Hogue, played safety and linebacker at Huntsville. None of the big schools in Texas, but he goes to Georgia, becomes an All-America. I mean, there's guys like that in every signing class, and I firmly believe Thomas Hutchings is one of those kind of guys.
It was a day-to-day across Texas with all kinds of big recruiting news and commitments, decommitments, and things of that nature. But you look at a young man like Thomas Hutchings and you think that's a guy who deserves a chance.
Plays so hard both ways. You know you can use the guy on special teams, and I go back to that Bill Yeoman quote. I mean, can't hold it against him that he's 5'10". He's an athletic guy, and where is he going to fit? And that's really the only question. It's not can he play, it's just where is he going to fit.
Well, the runner-up medals, and now the presentation of the defensive and offensive players of the game.
Football championship as selected by the media here today. From Ennis High School, number 24, Trey Edwards.
That is a very logical choice.
You betcha. Those
2
interceptions that he had his own back-to-back possessions.
Congratulations, Trey, on an outstanding performance.
There's not enough individual trophies to go around. But you just feel like Taylor Thompson and the contributions he made in today's game, offensively and defensively. Pure team effort. Jack Alvarez obviously immensely happy with his team.
Now for the presentation of the offensive MVP.
The offensive player of the game for the Conference 5A Division II Football Championship, as selected by the media here today. From Cedar Park High School, number 43, Thomas Hutchings.
For the ball game, Thomas Hutchings.
Well-deserved. Well-deserved. You bet.
It also tells you something about this football game, Shane. We had it in the last game where Nick Ralston of Argyle was the offensive MVP in a losing effort, but each side had an MVP, which tells you how great the game was.
Well, you're exactly right. And you talk about that Argyle game in double overtime it took for Navasota to come out on top, and this is down to the very last play. And this game was decided.
And think about that, and that's his brother Chris, but you think about Thomas Hutchings. The 5A Defensive Player of the Year wins the offensive MVP of the 5A Division II State Championship game. That's a football player.
Tahoe is that good. He is that good. That 75-yard run that he had, and just the penetrating runs that he had early on when Cedar Park was trailing in this game and really couldn't get any momentum going offensively until he started to rip off big runs, and then that opened up the rest of the field for Amir Alzer and the rest of the wide receivers for the Timberwolves.
Here's the runner-up trophy going to Cedar Park.
Principal John Sloan, Athletic Director Chris Ross, and Assistant Athletic Director Jody Park of Cedar Park ISD. We congratulate the Timberwolves of Cedar Park High School for an outstanding season. And at this time, we would like to recognize the 5A Division II Football State Champions, the Lions of Ennis High School. With a record of 14-2, Coach Jack Alvarez and his team have achieved the goal of becoming Texas High School state champions. Coach Alvarez will accept the state championship trophy from Superintendent John Checkton III, Principal David Taylor.
So the Ennis Lions claim the 5A Division II State Championship. I want to remind you tomorrow the triple header of state championships will conclude our state championship weekend at noon. The 5A Division I title, Aledo and Temple, Katy and Cedar Hill meet for the third straight year. This time to decide the 6A Division II championship, and Allen going for the three-peat for the 6A Division I title. For Shea Walker, Brooke Bentley, I'm Craig Wade. Thanks for joining us, and good night from Arlington.
Another call, Santa.